Think of Georgia football, and you think of a long line of excellent running backs in Herschel Walker, who broke all the records and set the standards for those to follow. Lars Tate may not be Herschel Walker, but he is the nation's fourth leading rusher, averaging 138 yards per contest. And then there's freshman Rodney Hampton, who started last week and rushed for over 200 yards. They'll both have to solve one of the nation's stingiest defenses. LSU is giving up less than 11 points a game. Mike Archer is a rookie head coach and the youngest in the game, but he has already faced some of the most successful that college football has to offer, and none has left the field with a win yet, as LSU has gone 4-0-1. The next test is a coaching legend who has had a major impact on the game of college football in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. And for Vince Dooley, the fire still burns in his 24th year. This is Sanford Stadium in Athens, Georgia, where more than 82,000 have come to watch the 15th-ranked Bulldogs take on number 6 LSU. It's the biggest SEC game of the year so far. Good afternoon, everybody. Mike Patrick along with Lee Corso, and it's great to have you with us on ESPN. Georgia's game is running the football, and the one place the LSU defense may be vulnerable is their rush defense.
Yeah, LSU loves the ball control, hard-nosed, offensive-type football. They keep LSU's offense off the field that way. But remember, LSU's opponents have averaged over 4 yards per carry against their rushing defense. As you say, that could be their weakness.
Now, LSU can move the ball on the ground and in the air, and Georgia has had trouble stopping people throwing the football.
Well, Georgia's pass defenses, they give a lot of yardage up, but very few touchdowns. But watch out, when LSU hits that 20, Georgia comes after them. But if LSU is hot, they can score against anyone.
Should be a great ball game in the biggest SEC contest of the year so far. Number 5, LSU. Number 6, LSU making against number 15, Georgia. And here come the Bulldogs. 4-1 on the year under Vince Dooley. They have lost to only Clemson. That was by a single point on a last-second field goal. CFA football is being brought to you by Michelob. So exceptionally smooth, the night belongs to Michelob. By Yashica, they put a new focus on photography with a new 230 AF autofocus. By Allstate, for home, auto, and life insurance. You're in good hands with Allstate. And by Duro Quick Gel Super Glue. Works better than ordinary instant adhesives.
Drinks. Let's find out. While waiting, you should know. 5-Hour Energy contains 0 sugar and only 4 calories. Its blend of B vitamins and amino acids can help you feel awake, alert, and productive for hours without the crash or jitters. The answer is 12. Over 12 teaspoons of sugar and 200 calories in these energy drinks. 0 sugar and 4 calories in 5-Hour Energy. There's a reason people choose 5-Hour Energy 2.5 million times a week. 5-Hour Energy. Hours of energy now, no crash later.
Put the pedal to the metal Fridays on CST. Hit the red line and get up to speed with 3 Wide Life at 4 p.m. Pop the clutch and twist the throttle with 2 Extreme at 4:30. Everything you need to know about NASCAR is on Raceline at 5. And wrap it up with Chrome Tips and Throwback Whips on Steel Dreams at 5:30. The Automotive Block every Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. right here on CST.
Attention, certain fentanyl pain patches have been recalled because of a defect that can cause a fatal overdose.
This is serious. If someone you know has died while wearing a skin patch for pain, the manufacturer may be to blame.
I'm attorney Bob Goldwater. If you or a loved one used this patch and were injured, call me right now. You may be entitled to a large cash award.
If someone you know has died while wearing a Duragesic skin patch for pain, call 800-228-3260.
Second time.
LSU won the toss, and they will take the choice in the second half. So LSU will kick off to start the ball game. Ron Lewis with a very strong leg. Rodney Hampton, number 7. Cassius Osborne, number 24, are deep to receive the kick. And we are set to go at Sanford Stadium in Athens, Georgia. A sellout crowd, 82,122, and a perfect afternoon for college football. Lewis, low line drive. Osborne trying to get to it and can't, and it goes out of bounds, but after it hit the end zone. James Jackson will lead that Georgia offense, completing nearly 50% of his passes. The running backs behind him, Lars Tate, who was number 4 in the United States. Alfonso Ellis, primarily a blocker. The receivers, Thomas and Osborne. They've only caught 19 passes between them. Troy Sadowski, an outstanding tight end. The offensive line here, the tackles, Adams and Mull, 260 and 281. The interior line, Kim Stevens, you'll hear a lot more about him. He graduated in 3 years. He is playing as a graduate student. And Lars Tate with the first carry. The first man to hit him was Ron Sancho, coming from the outside linebacker spot. And here is that LSU front line. Darrell Phillips, the nose man in the middle. Clapp and James are the tackles. The outside backers, Sancho, you will see an awful lot from him. And a big hitter, Eric Hill, number 54. Darren Marlborough and Nicky Hazard, 48. Keep an eye on Hazard. He appeared to be hurt in the warm-ups. The corners, Willie Bryant and Kevin Guidry, they have 1 interception apiece. Carrier, an outstanding player at safety. Second down, Georgia will go with a fullback, Ellis. And Ellis will get across the 25 to about the 26. Tommy Clapp, the first man to hit him. Sancho came in to help finish it off. And this is Georgia football. Put it on the ground and try to overpower people.
One of the good things about Georgia football is they're going to play it no matter who they play. Vince Dooley's 41 and 5 here. Why would he change?
That's right. Third down, 3 yards to go for the Bulldogs. And Jackson forced out of the pocket. He'll run for the first down, and he's got it. Out to the 33-yard line. Guidry covered him, but he got the first down on the scramble.
Well, the reason Jackson is so successful is he's got such quickness on him. That time they knocked down 52 Sancho, and he got outside, but he made that one little move that you cannot coach. It's called quickness. And he got by everybody. It's a first down. They're going to try to attack the LSU defense with him outside and Tate on the inside.
If you saw the Florida game a week ago, you were able to see what an excellent running team can do to that LSU defense. Clapp and Phillips in on the tackle as they shut that play down in a hurry. And Lars Tate, the senior out of Indianapolis, Indiana, only picked up a couple. We're anxious to get a look at Rodney Hampton, who was the sensational freshman, as you get a look at Mike Archer. Hampton last week started for the first time, gained 227 yards on the ground, and they always seem to have tailbacks at Georgia, don't they?
Absolutely. They got him from Houston, Texas. While in high school, he was ranked the 17th best prospect in Texas. That's Hampton. He'll be in soon.
Second and 8. Jackson to throw, drops it off to Tate, who's a good receiver. Little screen and broke a tackle, gets out to the 44-yard line, very close to a first down. Let's go to Tim Brando. He has an update on Ohio State and Indiana. Tim.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Big doings for Indiana. They are leading right now 24-10 over the Ohio State Buckeyes. Less than 6 minutes remaining. They have the ball. And let's tell you that also it's been since 1951 that Indiana beat Ohio State. Ironically, that was the first game ever coached for the Buckeyes by the legendary Woody Hayes. So Lee's old club is getting it done. And Bill Mallory, what a huge win for them. Let's get back now to Mike and Lee between the hedges.
All right, Tim, and of course Ohio State has had trouble scoring points this year, and former Indiana coach Lee Corso, that must get the heartbeat going a little.
I think he said since 1951 they hadn't beaten Woody. In 1976, I was ahead of him 77-6 for the first time in 25 years. They were ever ahead of him. Boy, I hope they beat him. That'd be a great win for Indiana.
Another Georgia first down. Not that you wish anything bad to Ohio State, of course.
No.
Jackson on the scramble again, got away from Sancho, cuts back past Hill. He's to the 30, 25, 21-yard line. Kevin Guidry had to make the tackle. And what a run by James Jackson, 35 yards, his longest of the season.
Well, Jackson's got such good speed and quickness they can't seem to catch him. Now you'll notice he'll roll out to the right, number 14 Jackson. They get a good block on 52 Sancho by going inside of him, and then he breaks across the field. From the left-hand side of your picture, you'll see Guidry, 27, make a great tackle right there to keep him from going all the way. Again, Jackson on the inside, Tate on the outside.
Ball's at the 22. This is Osborne in motion. Tate. There was a hole there for a second, but Hazard closed it up in a hurry. Darren Marlborough on the bottom of the pile.
Well, Tate's a great football player. He was a tremendous high school football player. At Indianapolis, Indiana, he was a parade All-American. He averaged 9.5 per carry while he was in high school. Every team in the nation wanted him. He came here because he wanted to be another Herschel Walker.
He had a knee injury last week and did not play. In the games he has played, he's averaging 138 yards a carry. That's number 4 in the United States. Nate Lewis comes in as a wide receiver on 2nd and long. That's Lewis in motion. They'll go with Tate on the pitch. Ellis in front of him with a good block. But LSU stacked it up. George Enriquez, number 91, was the man who got to the point of impact. Archer on the sideline. He was Bill Arnsparger's defensive coordinator, and then when Arnsparger left to become the athletic director of Florida, he said he thought Archer should be the head coach. The head of the university agreed, but then it took 3 weeks to go through the process. A lot of people didn't think Mike Archer would get the job. I'm glad he did. I think he's going to be a whale of a head coach.
LSU has a lot of politics and everything, political and coaching.
State of Louisiana. Big 3rd down play here. Jackson rifles one, almost intercepted. Chris Carrier had it in his hands, and 90 yards of natural grass in front of him. Intended for Thomas, but underthrown.
Well, you might wonder why Carrier number 11 missed the ball. The reason he did was the ball was deflected. Watch. Somebody gets his hands right there on the ball, and that makes the ball quiver and wobble. See? That's right. Mickey Hazard, number 48, tipped the ball, and if he hadn't tipped it, his team would be leading 7-0 right now.
Steve Crumley, an outstanding field goal kicker, is on to try one. The spot near the 25, so it would be approximately a 35-yard field goal attempt. Straight ahead kicker, there aren't many of them left. But if you kick that way, you can kick it any way you want. Georgia jumps on top, 3-0 over LSU.
Energy drinks. Let's find out. While waiting, you should know. 5-Hour Energy contains 0 sugar and only 4 calories. Its blend of B vitamins and amino acids can help you feel awake, alert, and productive for hours without the crash or jitters. The answer is 12. Over 12 teaspoons of sugar and 200 calories in these energy drinks. 0 sugar and 4 calories in 5-Hour Energy. There's a reason people choose 5-Hour Energy 2.5 million times a week. 5-Hour Energy. Hours of energy now, no crash later.
Eric Hill Nissan, they're moving out the cars at hot prices. You'll see the savings hanging in the window. Check out this new 2009 Altima. Get the red tag price for only $159 per month, or a new 09 Rogue just $169 per month.
The red tags are out and the deals are hot.
Check out this 2009 Murano just $269 per month. It's our red hot empty the lot sale.
And that means you save at Eric Hill Nissan.
Hurry while the red tags are out.
Whatever you do, buy from a Tiger. I-10 and Bullard or online at erichillnissan.com.
Everyone wants to protect their loved ones. Atmos Energy understands that, which is why we put safety first, and second, and third. Let's just say it's very important. But reliable, dependable service is also really important, and impeccable 24/7 customer service is a priority too. It's all part of what we do every day for our customers at Atmos Energy, your natural gas company.
CFA football is being brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by Good News Plus with the Lubra Smooth Strip for extra smoothness and comfort, only from Gillette. 10:26 to go first quarter, and it's Georgia 3-0. And John Casey, whose father is the strength coach under Vince Dooley and played on his first team, will kick to Sammy Martin and Eddie Fuller. And it's Martin, 4 yards deep in the end zone. He'll down it there. And LSU will start from the 20, led by the sensational sophomore Tom Hodson, completing 62% of his passes so far. Behind him, he'll have the sensational Harvey Williams and Victor Jones out of Zachary, Louisiana. The receivers are terrific. Wendell Davis and Raji McGee, along with Brian Kinchin, the tight end. Hubix and Packnett are the tackles, and the interior of the line is an excellent one. Ruffin Rodrigue, Nacho Albergamo, and Eric Andelsek. Outstanding offensive line and tremendous personnel for LSU. Harvey Williams had a tough game a week ago and was really smothered as he got back to the line of scrimmage. take a look at that Georgia defensive line. Tyrone McClendon and Aaron Chubb are the outside men. Bill Goldberg, who made that last tackle, and Larry Brown are inside on a four-man front. The linebackers, Guthrie, 54. Brantley, nicknamed Rambo, in the middle. He's a great one. Terry Webster, number 60, the weak side linebacker. Ben Smith and Mark Vincent are the corners. They're both transfers, one from junior college, the other from SMU. And there are the safeties, Jones and Beasley. Gain of about a half a yard on that next play. And Hodson will keep it on the ground again to Williams. Williams up to the 25, 26-yard line. But we're saying that Harvey Williams, after last week really getting some shots and fumbling one at the goal line, that Harvey hasn't made as many statements this week. Maybe humility has entered his vocabulary.
I tell you what, he's got tremendous athletic ability, and the guy backing him up, Sam Martin, 23, is not bad. Wait till he comes in the game.
3rd down and 4 for LSU on its opening possession. Hodson appears to be changing the play. Looking for Davis, and throws complete to Davis at the 32. That'll be a first down. Wendell Davis has just completely rewritten the record books receiving for LSU.
They work together all summer, and it's almost like a brother act. One guy goes back and he knows exactly where he's going to throw the ball. That time, they had a perfect example of what you call mismatching. They had 82 Davis on the strong safety, number 29, Will Jones. No way that he could cover him. Just nice out-cut first down LSU.
That was his 141st career catches. He only needs 11 more to tie for number 1 in school history. He may get those 11 today. Williams on the toss behind Jones. And Georgia defense did well. Beasley came up to trip him up along with Larry Brown. Let's check in now for a scoreboard update and Tim Brando.
Wayne Clements of Texas, Mike Patrick, getting it done, trailing 13-3 to the Oklahoma Sooners. The Longhorns pulled it within 7 with just seconds remaining in the first half. So our score right now in that ball game, 13-6, still late in the 4th. Indiana leading Ohio State 24-10. What a huge upset that would be for Bill Mallory. And the NFL strike negotiations ongoing as we speak. The NFLPA and the Management Council, the topic of discussion today, free agency. More on that later. Let's get back to Mike and Lee.
On 2nd and 9, Hodson hit Harvey Williams over the middle to near the 44-yard line, and that's going to be a first down. Webster made the tackle, and this is the replay.
Harvey Williams, number 22, comes out like the pros do and sets down in between the zones, and Hodson hits it with a nice completed pass right there. That's the favorite play in pro football, and you know, most of Archer's staff came from Miami and Schnellenberger, and they got the same kind of offensive game plan in there.
1st and 10, LSU. They're down 3-0. They shift back in the eye. That's Kinchin, the tight end. He'll split out to the right side. Play action by Hodson. Wants to come near side into Davis, complete at the Georgia 45-yard line. That'll be another first down. And right now, LSU's really hitting on all cylinders.
Well, I'll tell you what, and this is a perfect example of what not to do on defense. 54, Vince Guthrie is playing safety, right-hand corner. Watch it. That's a strong linebacker trying to play number 82 Davis. Does he make him look bad? But that was a terrific play on Hodson's part to notice that weakness and immediately go to it.
Hodson, 3 out of 3, 27 yards so far. He's had a sensational season. 6 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. Williams. And Georgia obviously committed to the run. That's Brantley, the middle linebacker, who got him at the 47, 48-yard line for a loss of 2 or 3.
Brantley is an All-American second-team player from the inside. Now, this is a low-angle shot of their favorite play, the toss play. Williams will get it and cut back, but watch 42 Brantley come from the inside right here and makes a good tackle on it. Brantley is the key to their defense because the middle linebacker is the key to most defenses.
Tony Moss, number 6, checks in as one of the wide receivers. He's flying to the top of your screen on 2nd and 12. Williams coming out of the backfield. Instead, they throw once again to Wendell Davis, and Davis is inside the 40. They mark it at the 38. Will Jones, the rover back, on the coverage.
Wendell Davis is eating up the secondary because he's going against the 2 weakest players on the football team on Georgia defensively. He's going against Will Jones, who's a strong safety, and 54, Vince Guthrie. Somehow, Georgia's got to take their defense and roll it the other way and stop Davis. There's no question that they got a key on Georgia right now, and Hodson's doing a terrific job of automatic.
Well, they're doubling him with a back and a linebacker. They probably need to have 2 backs on him. He's certainly that good. 3rd and 3, LSU. Hodson to throw again. That one was tipped at the line of scrimmage, intended for Davis.
95, Bill Goldberg, 6'3", 266, gets a tip on this one. Watch in the middle of the picture, he jumps and deflects the ball right there. 95, Goldberg. Now remember, the defensive line coaches always teach players, if you can't get to the quarterback, jump as high as you can and deflect the ball. Good point by Goldberg that time.
Matt DeFrank is on to punt. They think he's just about recovered from a pulled thigh injury he suffered after a block kick. Mike Bowen deep to receive. He is the sure-handed punt catcher for Georgia. End-over-end kick. Bowen fakes the catch and lets the ball go into the end zone. Nice job by Bowen. And we have a timeout with 5:49 to go first quarter. It's Georgia 3 and LSU nothing.
Drinks. Let's find out. While waiting, you should know. 5-Hour Energy contains 0 sugar and only 4 calories. Its blend of B vitamins and amino acids can help you feel awake, alert, and productive for hours without the crash or jitters. The answer is 12. Over 12 teaspoons of sugar and 200 calories in these energy drinks. 0 sugar and 4 calories in 5-Hour Energy. There's a reason people choose 5-Hour Energy 2.5 million times a week. 5-Hour Energy. Hours of energy now, no crash later.
Listen, do you hear that? That's the sound of our presses running. It's music to our ears. We're Garrity Print Solutions, and we've been humming along for 25 years. Companies just like yours send us their toughest jobs. Look, your direct mail is personalized and ready to go. Bet your phone starts ringing? It always does. We're Garrity Print Solutions.
Notice Bobcat equipment is everywhere? Construction, industry, rental houses, government, universities, commercial, and residential. These are just a few of the many applications for the tough, compact, and durable Bobcat equipment. Also take note, Bobcat customers are smiling with their '1 choice. Our job at Duhan Machinery is to keep you smiling. 2 convenient locations to choose from. Call today for a free quote. 888-427-6408 in St. Rose or 337-408-4050 in Lafayette.
That's Top Rank Boxing coming your way Wednesday at 9 o'clock. Right now we have LSU and Georgia for you. 5:49 to go first quarter from Athens. And Georgia has the ball for its second possession. They'll start from their own 20-yard line. Tate 32 and Alfonso Ellis 33, the running backs. Tate on the toss. We've got a couple coming up. Greg Jackson, the strong safety. They told Tate before this season started that it was all on his shoulders. They literally had no one else behind him except a crop of freshmen, and you know how coaches are about freshmen. And Tate has responded with an outstanding performance today, 5 yards or 12 yards on 5 carries. Jackson in trouble, dumps it off, and Ellis couldn't hold it. It was covered very well by Jason Delmore, who was out there. Keep you up to date all afternoon on all the scores from around the country. Tulsa leading Temple, that's a final. Other scores in the East, Princeton with a big lead, Penn with a big win. Harvard leading Cornell, that's fourth quarter. Holy cross, what a season they have had. William and Mary and Yale in a tight one in the fourth, and we'll keep you up to date on everything else as we go along. It's 3rd and 7 here for Georgia. Delay to Tate. And Sancho got him as they got to the 25-yard line.
You know, most stadiums the people would boo because, they wanted to throw the football, but that's Georgia football. See, what they're going to do here is punt the football and play field position. They don't do many things that people would call razzle-dazzle, but I tell you what, they win. And that's the object of the game.
Joey Hester comes on to kick. Hester replaces Chris Carpenter, who was a second-team All-American a year ago. Had another year of eligibility, but he was a first-round draft choice of the baseball St. Louis Cardinals. Alvin Lee is deep to receive this punt, signals for the fair catch, and makes it at the 45-yard line. So LSU, after a 30-yard punt, will have great field position when we come back.
Energy drinks. Let's find out. While waiting, you should know. 5-Hour Energy contains 0 sugar and only 4 calories. Its blend of B vitamins and amino acids can help you feel awake, alert, and productive for hours without the crash or jitters. The answer is 12. Over 12 teaspoons of sugar and 200 calories in these energy drinks. 0 sugar and 4 calories in 5-Hour Energy. There's a reason people choose 5-Hour Energy 2.5 million times a week. 5-Hour Energy. Hours of energy now, no crash later.
Put the pedal to the metal Fridays on CST. Hit the red line and get up to speed with 3 Wide Life at 4 p.m. Pop the clutch and twist the throttle with 2 Extreme at 4:30. Everything you need to know about NASCAR is on Raceline at 5. And wrap it up with chrome tips and throwback whips on Steel Dreams at 5:30. The Automotive Block every Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. right here on CST.
When you are wrongfully injured through no fault of your own, life can be tough. Oasis Legal Finance is the #1 choice to provide clients the money they need for bills and living expenses long before their case may settle. Call Oasis now. If you're approved, you could have a check in as little as 24 hours. The phone call is free. The application is free. And there's no obligation to repay if you lose your case. Call Oasis now.
LSU with its second possession, and Mike Archer will go with Sam Martin, number 23 at running back, and Jaglaw 36, the fullback. And Lee, I know you've talked to the coaches all week. You think LSU might try to trick up Georgia a little bit?
Absolutely. They got 22 in the backfield. When he's back there at tailback, watch Williams to throw a long touchdown pass. He's got an excellent arm.
Egloff in motion, and Martin with his first carry of the day. He's an exciting player. Went down hard as his feet went out from under him as Beasley came up to make the stop. Martin very, very quick.
Boy, at 79, Ubix, the offensive left tackle, making a good block. He pulls, as you'll know him, and he comes down and clears the linebacker out. 54, Guthrie is knocked down. And as Martin's going up the middle, watch Beasley lay him out right here and get a piece of him. Martin has got more quickness than Williams, and he's got a tremendous body lean. He's going to be fun to watch.
2nd and 3 after a gain of 7 for Sam Martin. Martin again, a little counter. He stopped about a yard shy of the first down there. And there have already been a few scuffles after the play is over. This is a very emotional game for these teams in this conference most years, but especially this year. You lose a game and you might be out of it.
You win them all, you might be national champ.
That's right. And that's what LSU has designs on. 3rd and 2. Hodgson against a 4-man rush, plenty of time. Wendell Davis. Boy, was he wide open. Wendell Davis is one of the finest receivers in college football. They don't have anybody within 6 yards of him.
Well, remember at the top of the show we talked about the theory. They're going to give you this. Now, they can't give it to him much more. They'll score 6 points. But number 23, Martin, is going short and taking the linebacker, and that's causing one-on-one coverage between Davis, 82, and Vinson, 15, and nobody can cover Davis. He's such a great runner of patterns. But now remember, watch it. LSU will get a little bit more pressure from Georgia starting pretty soon.
Here comes the reverse. Moss. Hodgson threw a block. Moss to the 30, down to the 25-yard line. Tony Moss out of Bossier City, Louisiana.
What a terrific play. The quarterback, Hodgson, 13, will pass the ball off. Watch, he flips it there, but keep your eye on him on the right-hand side of your picture. He'll get a good block on number 92 right there. It gets and knocks him down as he keeps right on going. Now, that was a great play because it got Georgia to go one way and come back the other.
92 was the pass rushing specialist. This is Martin straight up the middle in a big hole. And Martin inside the Georgia 20 to the 17. The block on the last play against 92, Richard Tarditz, out of Biarritz, France. And an incredible story in his own right. He has turned into a fine pass rusher. When he first came over here, they lined him up in practice the first time he said he wanted to play football. He just lined up and tackled the first guy he got to. And that guy didn't have the ball. There's Tarditz on the sideline. It used to be Tardits, but after 2 years in Athens, Georgia, it's now Tardits. Hodgson changing the play at the line of scrimmage, 1st and 10. Martin tries to cut it outside, nowhere to go. Cuts it back, and if he'd had one more step, he's got a big play. Instead, Vince Guthrie makes the saving tackle. Right now, another scoreboard update. Let's check in with Tim Brando.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. It is official. Not since '51 has this happened. Indiana wins 31-10. Their only loss, by the way, to Kentucky. What does that tell you about the SEC? And look at this, will you? They can see the forest for the trees with their football program under Bill Dooley, beating North Carolina 22-14. Let's get back to Sanford Stadium.
Dancing in the streets at University of Indiana at Bloomington, and also
Winston-Salem.
Two major upsets. Martin cuts it back and stacked up. That was Brantley, who got him at the 18-yard line, the senior from Wildwood, Florida.
Now, Brantley is the leader, the team leader in there. He bench presses 510 pounds. Now watch him, he's isoed in the middle. He gets inside position, and then he attacks the first open area and makes a good tackle. Now, it's 3rd down and 10. Watch the all-out blitz by Georgia, but watch a touchdown possible by LSU.
Hodgson is so good at finding the open receiver. 4-man rush. And all day to throws short. Davis makes the catch out of bounds at the 10. They'll be shy of the first down by about 3 yards and bring up a 4th down.
You might wonder, why didn't he throw the ball to the end zone? The man he tried to throw the ball into the end zone, number 22 Williams, was covered, and he went to his secondary coverage receiver, number 82 Davis. He did not want to throw the ball to Davis, but that's what Georgia gave him, so he took it. David
Browndyke, who is 5 out of 8 this year, will come on and try to tie it up. A 27-yard field goal attempt, left-footed sidewinder.
Attempt a 27-yarder.
Sophomore's got it up, and he has it on target. 58 seconds to go. First quarter, we're tied at 3 in Athens, Georgia.
Energy drinks. Let's find out. While waiting, you should know. 5-Hour Energy contains 0 sugar and only 4 calories. Its blend of B vitamins and amino acids can help you feel awake, alert, and productive for hours without the crash or jitters. The answer is 12. Over 12 teaspoons of sugar and 200 calories in these energy drinks. 0 sugar and 4 calories in 5-Hour Energy. There's a reason people choose 5-Hour Energy 2.5 million times a week. 5-Hour Energy. Hours of energy now, no crash later.
Hello, welcome back. How are you guys doing? Checking in? All right, welcome to the Town Place Suites by Marriott. Pets and mascots are welcome at the New Orleans Town Place Suites by Marriott. There's everything a mascot could need to get ready for the big game. Thank you. Have a good game. Good game. Our mascot promotion is really catching on. Town Place Suites by Marriott, New Orleans. Your home away from home. Located in the Harahan Elmwood Business Park.
Calco. First in safety, first in luxury.
You know Calco. You see us on the road and all around town. Calco is luxurious interiors and the on-time dependability you trust. And for smaller groups, Calco has mid-size buses.
Offering affordability and convenience with all the amenities of a large coach.
We even cover first-class needs with executive-style transportation.
Go with Calco. First in safety, first in luxury.
Call today or log on to calcotravel.com.
These are some of the LSU fans who made the trip from Louisiana, and they are out after dog gumbo, but they spelled it wrong. It's D-A-W-G here. Ron Lewis to kick off in a 3-3 tie first quarter. And those LSU fans, the purple and gold really stands out in a sea of red and black. Lewis nails this one, and Osborne will go 3 yards deep in the end zone and bring it out. 20! And just tripped up as he got to the 30-yard line, and Jimmy Young, the reserve cornerback, made the tackle. It looked like it could have been a big, big return.
Well, you know, most of the times you tell the guys, don't run it out, but this time he comes out, number 24 Osborne does. He gets a good block here, but now watch a lane open right here that he gets up the sideline and makes a good play. Good thing Jimmy Young came in from the outside to make that tackle, or else it would have been good.
There's a flag down on the play, and the officials conferring around the 35-yard line. preliminary signal was a clip on the kickoff return.
On the return, we had a clipping. Then we had a dead ball foul, personal foul on the kicking team. It'll be 1st and 10 on the 30.
So those penalties will cancel each other out, and they'll leave the ball at the 30. And Mike Archer, none too happy about the way those penalties worked out.
Well, what he wants to do is he wants to know if they were both even. In other words, if there was 2 15-yard penalties. And therefore, it is absolutely right. Right here, we got a cow by number 93. Collins clips number 5, but there was also one on the other side that you couldn't see. It was a good call by the official.
Hiawatha Berry, number 43, the fullback, and Rodney Hampton. We'll get our first look at him, the sensational freshman tailback, number 7, and he'll get the first carry. He is faster than Tate as he gets up to about the 33-yard line, and this kid just highly recruited.
Well, you know, they got him on the fact that he really wanted to go to a school that featured the tailback, and we're better. Yep. Herschel Walker, Tate, all these guys, and they sold him on the fact that he could come here, back up Tate 1 year, and then 3 years All-American. And I tell you what, he might not back up Tate very long.
Not with stats like he had last week. Already put him number 5 single game all time. Jackson, nice play fake that time. Throws short for his tight end Sadowski, and Sadowski out to the 43-yard line. Brought down by the corner, Willie Bryant. Sadowski, a great blocker and a clutch receiver.
See, that's what happens when you're a good running team. All your passing attack and play action open up. The reason that was wide open is when he faked Hampton in the middle, both the linebackers jumped him and left Sadowski wide open on the other side.
Sadowski wears a string around his ankle to remind him of the promise he made to his mother to graduate and give 110% whenever he plays. His mom died last year of cancer. That is the end of the first quarter. It's 3-3, Georgia and LSU.
Energy drinks. Let's find out. While waiting, you should know. 5-Hour Energy contains 0 sugar and only 4 calories. Its blend of B vitamins and amino acids can help you feel awake, alert, and productive for hours without the crash or jitters. The answer is 12. Over 12 teaspoons of sugar and 200 calories in these energy drinks. 0 sugar and 4 calories in 5-Hour Energy. There's a reason people choose 5-Hour Energy 2.5 million times a week. 5-Hour Energy. Hours of energy now, no crash later.
And the knuckleballer is long gone. The 2-1, Cancel ripped up the middle base hit that'll win the ball game. There you go. David
Newhands. No offense to other energy sources, but safe, reliable natural gas is just better. For starters, it's safe, reliable, and natural. But it's also efficient, clean, and the kind of energy you never need to worry about. It's always there, heating your home, cooking your dinner, just making life more comfortable. Doesn't that sound nice? That's Atmos Energy, your natural gas company.
Looking for one more strike and looking for the 5th state championship in a row for John Curtis, and she has it. The John Curtis Patriots win 5 in a row.
Ready to start the second quarter. LSU and Georgia. Battle of field goals and a 3-3 tie from Athens. The Dogs with the ball at their own 43-yard line. Hampton is in there at tailback behind Jackson. That's Sadowski, the tight end, moving to the far side. They'll run to the short side with Hampton. Oh, he's quick. Hampton up to about the 49-yard line. Chris Carrier, the weak safety, and Carl Dunbar, who's in at right end, make the tackle.
All right, 68 Stevens is the #1 offensive lineman for Vince Dooley. As he pulls number 68, you'll see him come around. He gets a pretty good block on the linebacker, but the thing that makes this play is right there. See that? That guy looked like he was number 7. Hampton looked like he was going full speed, and the other guys were going half speed. What acceleration.
2nd and 3 from near midfield. Jackson. And throws high, intended for John Thomas to split in.
Jackson knows. He's talking about Vince Dooley right there. Vince is probably very, very happy, if he knew about it, that Bill Dooley, his brother, just had that big, big win over North Carolina. Look at that statistic. One other statistic. He's the past president of the American Football Coaches Association and a longtime chairman of the Ethics Committee of the American Football Coaches Association. I served on that committee with him. He's the most highly respected coach in America right now. There's no question.
Yes, he is. 3rd and 3. Big play from Georgia. Hampton on the ground. For a lot of teams, 3rd and 3 is a passing down. In Athens, it means you run your tailback.
And I tell you what, this is going to be exciting. It's going to be 4th down and about maybe a yard. Is he going to punt it? Georgia style, he's going to punt it. Now, Florida State would go for it. Miami would go for it. Vince Dooley punts it because he wants to get the ball down there and play good defense.
He didn't even hesitate to count. I mean, there was no decision to be made.
Well, he's not happy with Jackson because the number one thing, Jackson had to contain Broke the other time and could have run for a 1st down, but threw it.
David Dukes is on to punt. Standing at the 10-yard line is Jimmy Young. High, short kick, and Young can't get to it. It takes a Georgia bounce. Look out for this. They'll down it at the 5. Timeout, 13:28 to go 1st half. We're still tied at 3.
Energy drinks. Let's find out. While waiting, you should know. 5-Hour Energy contains 0 sugar and only 4 calories. Its blend of B vitamins and amino acids can help you feel awake, alert, and productive for hours without the crash or jitters. The answer is 12. Over 12 teaspoons of sugar and 200 calories in these energy drinks. 0 sugar and 4 calories in 5-Hour Energy. There's a reason people choose 5-Hour Energy 2.5 million times a week. 5-Hour Energy. Hours of energy now, no crash later.
Racing? Sure it's rough. And there's times it can be ugly. But anyone tells you racing ain't pretty? Well, they sure ain't watching the same racing.
Calco. 1st in safety, 1st in luxury.
You know Calco. You see us on the road and all around town. Calco is luxurious interiors and the on-time dependability you trust. And for smaller groups, Calco has mid-size buses.
Offering affordability and convenience with all the amenities of a large coach.
We even cover first-class needs with executive-style transportation.
Go with Calco. 1st in safety, 1st in luxury.
Call today or log on to calcotravel.com.
Good swing.
CFA football is brought to you by Jeep. There's a feeling you can get only in a Jeep. And by MasterCard. Every time you choose MasterCard to make a purchase, we'll make a contribution to one of 6 worthy causes. LSU football at its own 6-yard line. Hodson, big day so far, 6 out of 7, 57 yards. Wendell Davis, 5 catches for 46, but LSU in a hole right now. And Williams is back in at tailback. And Williams will get the carry. Looked like he almost lost control of that handoff, got it a little high on his chest, and Bill Goldberg makes the tackle. ESPN CFA coverage continues later today when Pittsburgh hosts Notre Dame. That's next, and then we'll switch coasts for a PCAA matchup between Long Beach State and Pacific. That one will start at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. 2nd and 7 for LSU. Williams again. Martin is checked into the ball game, and Martin will pick up maybe 1 to the 9-yard line. Paul Giles, number 97, made the tackle.
You notice that time Giles came in there and made a little penetration. Georgia's doing a good thing. They're alternating their defensive linemen and keeping them fresh in there against LSU. He made a nice move because he started one direction and did a little stunt. Archer is confused because right now Georgia is using exactly what they want to do. They're keeping them inside and in front of them.
3rd and 7, Hodson to throw. Pressure from behind, got it away and overthrew Wendell Davis, who was double-teamed that time by 2 defensive backs instead of a linebacker and a defensive back.
And the Frenchman got in there that time.
Yeah.
Artis got in. Number 92 put a little pressure. From the left-hand part of your picture, number 92 will beat Hugh Bix and gets the pressure on it and forces Hodgson to throw it just a split second quicker than he wanted to.
Matt DeFrank comes on to punt. And deep to receive is Nate Lewis, who is standing at midfield. And DeFrank sails one out of there, drives Lewis back to his own 44. And very good contained by LSU. He gets across the 50. A flag goes down after a 48-yard punt and an 8-yard return. We will check out the penalty for you. Thrown late on the play, and they're talking to LSU. Here's the call.
Holding on the return. It's 1st and 10.
There's 2 mistakes on kicking play. One didn't cost them because there was an offsetting penalty, but this one will cost them 15 yards back to their own 41-yard line. We've got a timeout in the 3-3 tie.
Use the Total Gym for one reason. It does work.
It is the most versatile piece of equipment I know of.
What I really love about the Total Gym is its simplicity.
I can get great results with not a lot of time.
A few minutes a day is all you need to get in the best shape of your life.
We work the obliques, traps,
chest, arms,
shoulders,
thighs,
lats,
hips,
abs.
Oh, it's fantastic.
The Total Gym does it all.
Put the pedal to the metal. Fridays on CST. Hit the red line and get up to speed with 3 Wide Life at 4 p.m. Pop the clutch and twist the throttle with 2 Extreme at 4:30. Everything you need to know about NASCAR is on Raceline at 5. And wrap it up with Chrome Tips and Throwback Whips on Steel Dreams at 5:30. The Automotive Block every Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. right here on CST.
Don't get eaten alive by credit card debt. If you have at least $5,000 to $50,000 or more in debt, stop the financial bleeding. Call Debt Group now. Debt Group's national network of attorneys works for you and negotiates your debt down to a fraction of what you owe. Eliminate your credit card bills, medical bills, and reduce them all into one affordable monthly payment. Call Debt Group now for a free debt reduction consultation. Call 800-318-3012. That's 800-318-3012.
These are general admission seats at Sanford Stadium in Athens. That's about as general as you can get. Pick your own clump of dirt.
And to your left of your picture, you see that white fence? They used to sit up on top of that bridge. Free. They don't let them do that anymore.
Well, the stadium seats 82,000. They have done a study to enclose this end of the bowl, and it would take it up to about 104,000. Jackson couldn't find his first receiver and then doesn't have a chance as the nose guard. Darrell Phillips came through to pluck him down.
He called it automatic that time. He wanted to throw a quick pass out there. Now they're talking about the defense right there. The Georgia defense is talking about the offense. Now watch the automatic. He's calling out, I want to throw a quick pass out to my right, but Bryant, number 29, must have heard him because he comes up. Watch, he'll turn. He wants to throw the ball to his right, but the man has got him covered. Bryant does, so he does a smart thing and just runs it straight ahead.
2nd and 11. Here's the delay to Hampton. And Hampton gets back to the 40-yard line before Eric Hill, number 54, climbed on his back.
Sancho is such a tough football player. Anytime he's playing on air, which means he's not playing on anybody, he comes down at a tight angle and almost makes the play, 52. What he did there is made Hampton hesitate, so 62, Phillips and the rest of his men could make the tackle.
3rd down 11, Georgia from its own 41-yard line. Jackson to throw. Here comes Hill on the blitz. Can't get there, and now does. Hill got the sack on 2nd effort as he got him at the 37, and Darrell Phillips is in there with him. That's the 3rd sack of the season for Eric Hill from Galveston, Texas. Bring up 4th down. They'll have to punt the ball away, and Hester, who was the long punter, comes back into the ball again. The first one was only 30 yards. And Jimmy Young, transfer from SMU, is deep to receive. Pretty kick by Hester this time, floats it up, and Young from the 25 is buried. Never had a chance, didn't even get one step. Number 93, Brent Collins, was down there to make the tackle for Georgia on special teams. Another timeout, 10:09 to go in the half.
Garden but dread the work? The easy-to-handle Mantis Tiller will help you realize those dreams without backache and blisters. The Mantis Tiller's tines are tough enough to cut through compacted soil, allowing you to prepare for planting with minimal effort. And the tines are guaranteed for life against breakage. You'll love what the world's favorite tiller can do to transform your yard, or we'll give you your money back. Mantis Tillers give you the power to grow it yourself. 1-800-410-5998.
Hello, welcome back. How are you guys doing? Checking in? All right, welcome to the Town Place Suites by Marriott. Pets and mascots are welcome at the New Orleans Town Place Suites by Marriott. There's everything a mascot could need to get ready for the big game. Thank you. Have a good game. Good game. Our mascot promotion is really catching on. Town Place Suites by Marriott, New Orleans. Your home away from home. Located in the Harahan Elmwood Business Park.
Who do you like for tonight's game?
This game will be two gladiators gladiating it out. This game is going to be an angry baby, a woman scorned, a tornado inside a volcano, a cackling witch.
Stuck in a bad relationship with sports radio? Switch to ESPN Radio for the best sports on the dial.
You know, with the addition of a closer, I think it can really strengthen their bull. Amazing. It's a new shirt.
This is LSU quarterback Tom Hodson on the sideline talking with the coaching staff, and he's on the sideline because senior Mickey Guidry out of Gretna, Louisiana, is in the ball game. Now, what they used to do at LSU under Bill Arnsparger is Guidry would get a series, second quarter, fourth quarter is usually the way it worked out, and Mike Archer in this game is going to continue with that, and Guidry has come through with some outstanding performances when he's been in there at times. Williams on the toss, avoided one tackle, got it up to about the 27. Guidry has not had much success this year. Only 28.6% of his passes completed, so one touchdown and one interception. Keep you up to date on some of the scores. We've already had two major upsets. Wake Forest over North Carolina and Indiana knocking off Ohio State. Iowa rolled big over Wisconsin. 2nd and 7 here. Flanker screen to Moss. Avoided one tackle to the 35, 36-yard line. Nice play by Tony Moss, the sophomore from Bossier City.
Davis makes a nice block. You want to watch a good block? Watch 82 Davis, who's an All-American receiver, but goes down and gets a really good block on the inside man, who's 42, Brantley. Now 26, Smith misses the tackle on 6, Moss, but I'll tell you what, that showed me right there what a great all-around player that Wendell Davis is, number 82.
1st and 10, LSU at its own 36. Snap was fumbled and recovered by Guidry at the 30. At some time, Ruffin Rodrigue was right there with him. Sometimes that's the problem when you change quarterback.
Yeah, because the quarterback number 2 never works with the number 1 center. But this case, they do it a lot. Let me tell you, this strategy is not bad. I used to like to do it myself because it got the quarterback on the sideline. I got a chance to see, hear how they're playing you, see what they look like. Then when you go back in there, Mike Archer's smart in doing this. He'll do a better job the next time in there. Hodson will.
2nd and 11. Guidry, play action. Here comes the blitz. He gets rid of it. Got it out to Kinchin. And Kinchin trying to get the first down, and they'll mark it right at the sticks at the 47-yard line. Kinchin taken out of bounds by Beasley, but that was a tough effort.
Now, look at the strategy of Georgia. As soon as the second-team quarterback comes in, whoop, they blitz. But they do such a good job of training their quarterbacks that Guidry just hit it perfect. The reason why they went after Guidry and not Hodson is he doesn't have as quick a delivery, but he sure showed he could do it then.
Big play for LSU. They have the ball at their own 46, 1st and 10. One other thing about Vince Dooley, when all the things were going on with Jan Kemp, and there were certainly abuses that needed to be corrected. The one man she never criticized was Vince Dooley. She said he tried to do everything he could to clean things up, and he deserves a lot of credit for that. Guidry, play action, throws to Davis. Guidry is a fine quarterback. You do not lose much when you go to Guidry in place of Hodson.
I'm telling you, eight or nine teams in the country would love to have him. Watch Davis come down. Now, the play is made successful because they sent a man out and get Brown, number 49, to go to his left, and Davis snuck in behind him. That's what they call a curl route. You take one guy out flat and you curl a guy behind. The quarterback watches number 49 and throws it to number 82, Davis, first down.
Tell you what, you could run all day and not get behind Georgia's secondary. Guidry on the option. Williams. Hit immediately at the line of scrimmage. Mike Guthrie made the stop. First time we've seen the option. Let's go back to our college football studios and a scoreboard update with Tim Brando.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. 44 yards. Jamel Holloway will go to work after an interception inside the Oklahoma 10 by Ricky Dixon. They convert with the touchdown aerial to Carl Caverness. That makes it Oklahoma 20, Texas 6 midway in the third. Let's get back between the hedges.
Really closer than most people would have expected, but emotion is one of the great parts of college football. 2nd and 8. Here comes the blitz. Guidry gets rid of it, and Kitchen just couldn't handle it. Coming up on the coverage, Mark Vincent, the transfer from SMU.
Guidry that time saw the blitz. Now watch, he sees everybody coming up. 93 puts the pressure on him. Collins in the middle, but almost picked off right here by 15, the transfer from SMU, Vincent. Now what happened that time is that the LSU team has been well drilled. Remember, 35-yard line, here comes Georgia. They knew that before they even connected the blitz based on a scouting report.
And 3rd and long is certainly a passing down for LSU. Nice block on that last play by Victor Jones, number 34, the fullback who picked up the blitz. Moss trying to get to the first down, sticks and does, and he has more, stays inbound. Moss at the 5, touchdown LSU. Wendell Davis is an All-American wide receiver. Tony Moss is next in line. And Guidry came off the bench to lead him to a touchdown. Last year, he did it all the time. Every time Guidry came in a game, LSU scored. Browndyke for the point after. It's good.
How many times I told you can't coach speed? Watch number 6, Moss, will come in and run a little delayed pattern. After he catches it, he runs away from Vincent like Vincent is standing, can't catch him. Now watch, he makes a break right here. Beasley, number 20, misses him. He almost goes out of bounds, but a great piece of running after he catches the football by the 5'7", 172-pound sophomore.
And Guidry gets his 2nd touchdown pass of the season, and it's LSU by 7.
Use the Total Gym for one reason. It does work.
It is the most versatile piece of equipment I know of.
What I really love about the Total Gym is its simplicity.
I can get great results with not a lot of time.
A few minutes a day is all you need to get in the best shape of your life.
We work the obliques, traps, chest,
arms,
shoulders,
thighs,
lats,
hips,
abs.
Oh, it's fantastic.
The Total Gym does it all.
Everyone wants to protect their loved ones. Atmos Energy understands that, which is why we put safety first, and second, and third. Let's just say it's very important. But reliable, dependable service is also really important, and impeccable 24/7 customer service is a priority too. It's all part of what we do every day for our customers at Atmos Energy, your natural gas company.
Calco. First in safety, first in luxury.
You know Calco. You see us on the road and all around town. Calco is luxurious interiors and the on-time dependability you trust. And for smaller groups, Calco has mid-size buses,
offering affordability and convenience with all the amenities of a large coach.
We even cover first-class needs with executive-style transportation.
Go with Calco. First in safety, first in luxury.
Call today or log on to calcotravel.com.
The full line of Greetings from inside Rosenblatt Stadium. I'm Mike Neighbors with your CST College World Series Minute, brought to you by Zatarain's and Take 5 Oil Change. Well, on the eve of the championship round, both teams meeting the media for the last time. Head coaches Paul Maneri and Augie Garrido looking pretty loose. You know, most of the LSU players hail from Louisiana, but one player hails from the state of Texas. That would be catcher Micah Gibbs. He's from Pflugerville, Texas. You would think growing up he'd be a Longhorn fan. Well, that wasn't the case.
When I was real young, I went to a camp at LSU and kind of had a mutual kind of love for LSU too, and just how I saw all the fans and how much support they had and that kind of thing. And just seeing Cressy in 2000 do what he did, and now I get to do that and then play against the team that I grew up watching. Can't ask for anything else.
Micah Gibbs, always a Tiger fan. For more on the Tigers, check out our Omaha coverage on CoxSportsTV.com. That's the story for now inside Rosenblatt Stadium. Mike Neighbors for CST.
That's our story from Athens, Georgia. LSU scoring its first touchdown of the game and taking a 7-point lead on Vince Dooley and the Dogs. And LSU will kick off with senior Ron Lewis. Deep to receive Rodney Hampton, number 7, and Cassius Osborne, 24. Osborne from the 4. And no big return this time as he stopped at his own 23-yard line. Scoring drive was very impressive under Mickey Guidry, who finished it off with a 36-yard scoring pass to Moss, 71 yards in 8 plays, and these guys have just so many offensive weapons.
That's a 36-yard pass, but it was actually an 8-yard pass, and he ran all the way. Remember, the Georgia theory was to let him catch that and then tackle him, but what they forgot to do is tackle him.
Interesting thing is, Guidry, after the great performance, will not come back in the ball game until sometime in the 4th quarter.
Unless he transfers.
That's right. Tate is back in as the tailback, and Jackson goes with a play action. Now he has to run, and from behind, Sancho. Ron Sancho, who is everywhere out of Avondale, Louisiana. Speed on defense doesn't hurt either.
Absolutely. Now what slows him up here, the reason he catches him this time is because Jackson wanted to throw it, but then couldn't find anybody, and Sancho just kept right on coming and caught him. I think they'd have a better success if they just ran out there and could fake him.
Sancho, the #1 tackler and the #1 big play man on this LSU defense. Big hit that time by Eric Hill, 54, and Hazard, 48. Hazard really got a shoulder in there, and then Hill, who is a 245-pound linebacker, finished it off.
Hill, I like his looks, because I tell you what, he just stuck that number 87 Sadowski and knocked him flat on his butt and then got up and made the tackle. I tell you what, you take those 2 outside linebackers, 54 Hill and 52 Sancho, they're the key to their defense. There's no question in my mind.
Flag on the play.
Illegal substitution on the defense is 5 yards. 2nd down.
Illegal substitution is the call.
That must mean that they had 12 men on the field, or 13, or maybe even 14 the way they play that defense. Because you can't have an illegal substitution on defense unless you have more guys than you can have at one time, which is 11.
So the penalty will make it 2nd and 2. Georgia with the ball at its own 31, down 10-3. And they'll give it to the fullback, Ellison. He dives forward to the 34-yard line. That should be very close to the first down. LSU wanted a fumble, and one official said no. Sancho comes out with the football, and another official apparently said yes. Let's check it. One official definitely marked the ball down, but it's LSU's football.
The referee is the man that called this from behind, and we'll get a good look at what he saw. 33 Ellis has got the football. Now let's see. The ball is coming out right there. It's a lousy call. Not a bad call, a lousy call. He was already on his back when the ball came out. Remember, the ball has to be fumbled before he hits the ground. Look at the Georgia sideline.
The first official who was there during the live action pointed to the ground as if the ball was down, and then someone else came in and said, no, it's a fumble.
No, I think you should, oh man, they should change it. Watch, the guy is already down right there. You see his back?
Oh, yeah.
See his back, and then the ball flies back? Now, the official that called that was a referee, and he's got the white hat out there. He should put a black hat on because he's a bad guy now, but he couldn't see it. We used to have a rule, don't call him unless you see him.
Big break for LSU. Kinchen will split out to the left. He's the tight end. Fuller is in there at the tailback. And Hodgson play fake and then throws downfield complete at the 10. And that's Wendell Davis. Davis just terrorizing the Georgia secondary this afternoon. That's his 6th reception in the first half.
You won't believe this. He threw the ball. There was at least 3 red shirts there. He threw the ball right smack in the middle. And number 82, Davis, just goes up there and takes it away from Smith. You talk about confidence. They throw it to that guy wherever he is, even if Georgia's got him covered.
Make it 7 catches for Wendell Davis. And it's 1st and 10 LSU. Fuller broke a tackle. Got to the 7-yard line. Demetrius Douglas, number 53, the sophomore, made the tackle. Purdue trying to win one for Fred Akers in the 4th quarter. Minnesota, a 12-point winner. Somebody's got to win this one. Missouri over Kansas State. Northern Iowa leading in the 4th quarter. TCU a winner. Texas A&M struggling against Houston. That's at halftime. And we'll keep you up to date on all the other scores as we go along. Not only here, but with Tim Brando in the college football studio on the scoreboard. 2nd and 7. Nice fake by Hodgson. He got to the 1, and oh, did they stand him up. Hodgson's knees hit the ground, and he got crunched.
I got a suggestion for Hodgson, number 13. When you run that boot like that and you're going for the touchdown, don't go with your head up. Go like a mole right underneath the ground. Now watch this. He's coming right here now. Get down. Get down quickly before they get you. He didn't get out fast enough.
He will next time.
You're not kidding.
3rd and a yard. Yes, Mike Archer would just love to see his team go up by 2 touchdowns. Harvey Williams is back in the ballgame. Remember, he fumbled a week ago at the goal line against Florida. They'd like to get him some confidence. Instead, they'll get him a 2-yard loss as Georgia swarmed on Harvey Williams.
Number 15, Mark Vinson from Fort Worth, Texas, will come out of the right hand, bottom of your picture watching. He's the right corner, and he just strips everything right here. See, he forces them to the inside so that number 60, Webster, and the rest of his buddies can get to him. That play was made because of penetration by number 15, Mark Vinson.
4th and 3, they'll send in Browndyke to go for a 20-yard field goal. He has already kicked 1. Big stand by the Georgia defense, stopped the touchdown. LSU comes out with 3 points, but that is a break for Georgia to keep them out of the end zone.
Especially after a lousy call that really hurt them back there.
Exactly. This half has gone very, very fast. As you see, only 3:16 to go in the first half. 1, because Georgia runs the football, that keeps the clock going, and because LSU has completed nearly everything it's thrown, and that keeps the clock going. Our triple header next Saturday. We're still not sure what that 4 o'clock game will be, but it will be on at 4 o'clock Eastern, followed by another big SEC game, Tennessee and Alabama. And remember, if you lose one in this league, it's so long. That's a 7 o'clock start. Then San Jose State and Fresno State coming up at 10:30 Eastern live. That is next Saturday. Big triple header. It's so far been worth making the trip, hasn't it?
They've been playing well, but now what Vince Dooley's thinking about there, the last 3 times they've had the ball, they've established nothing. Remember at the beginning of the game, they established Jackson to the outside and Tate to the inside. Then all of a sudden, they start getting away from that. He's going to remind the offensive staff to go back to what we do the best. Don't worry about LSU, and we can catch these guys. 13-3 is not a big deficit.
Although Georgia does not exactly have a catch-up offense. Hampton from the 6. This guy can fly. Stopped shy of the 30-yard line by the kicker, Ron Lewis. Georgia will start from its own 28. We'll see if Hampton stays in there. Now he's trotting off the field, and that means Tate will be in at the tailback spot. Between them, they're averaging over 200 yards a game rushing. Michigan State leading Michigan. How about this? 2nd quarter. Memphis State knocks off Alabama. 13-10. And the mighty are falling like raindrops this afternoon. Ohio State went down. Jackson on the option will keep it across the 35, 36-yard line. Carrier makes the tackle along with Kevin Guidry, the right cornerback.
All right, a little bit better. Jackson to the outside, that time on an option. Number 69, Burrows pulled and made a good block on the outside. But again, if they can get Jackson to stretch the defense, then they can hit him up in the middle quickly with Tate. But Jackson's got to threaten the corners or their offense will not move anywhere.
Keep you up to date on all those upsets. Tim Brando at halftime will have all the scores, all the highlights. And there have been some beauties today. Tate hesitated a little bit as he went toward the line. There wasn't a lot of room in there, and Eric Hill is in on the stop for LSU. Past few years, they've had some great linebackers at LSU. There is a flag down, and the LSU players are indicating that it's against Georgia. By the second half, this entire field will be in shadows.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards, second down.
There's nothing more frustrating than a coach to have second down and 1 and have a lineman hold. We used to say, if you got a hold, just fall down. Get out of the way. Just don't cause us a penalty. Now, Vince Dooley has got to go against his basic strategy. There's 225. Does he go wide open, or does he get in 13-3? It's going to be interesting.
So it's second down and 11. Backup fullback Hiawatha Berry is on the sideline. He has a big ice pack around his left ankle. We do not expect him to come back into the ball game today. And they like to use him on short yardage situations. Jackson on second 11, a lot of time. Now he's got to sprint out of the pocket, and he only gets to the 32-yard line. He's covered out there by Lawrence and Clapp. Jackson had plenty of time and couldn't find anyone.
He was trying to find 32 Tate, who was going up on the left-hand side, trying to sneak up there for a touchdown, but 27 Guidry from St. Charles, Louisiana, did a nice job of staying in his own area.
You can go a long time in the Georgia game without seeing the wide receivers. Osborne, 24, and Thomas, number 9. Only caught 19 passes between them. This is the 6th game of the season. Third and 11. Jackson rifles this one. Was it caught? No, it's incomplete. Thomas, the ball a little bit behind him, couldn't come up with it, and the official had a great angle at that one.
And it's a tough throw as a right-handed quarterback to throw back to your left. He doesn't get his shoulders wide open, and that's why he throws the ball behind him. You teach a quarterback when a man is going across, you always aim 3 feet in front of him, never at him, because his momentum will carry him to the ball, not away from the ball.
Hester comes in to punt. Jimmy Young is deep, standing in his own 25. We have 1 minute and 19 seconds to go in the first half. LSU will have time for another shot at getting on the scoreboard. Hester floats this one out of there. Fair catch. Signaled, made at the 31-yard line. So with 1 minute and 12 to go in the first half, after a 39-yard punt, LSU will have a chance to get the offense working again.
There he is, Squab Jones. He's been around the University of Georgia Athletics for 76 years. He's 85 years old. I talked to him yesterday. He's got some of the great stories. I tell you what, he's got more rings on his finger than Al Davis does. Now watch, you see, look at all those championship rings. And he's got another one on his other finger for an all-time record. He's hanging around till he gets both hands filled with championship rings.
85 years old, is it?
Absolutely.
Hodson dumps it off to Martin. He's very dangerous in the open field. Martin up to the 42-yard line. Counting down to a minute. Both teams have all 3 timeouts left. And now the officials will stop the clock. First down does stop the clock momentarily. Hodson throwing under as he has all day. Wendell Davis could not handle this one, and Mike Brown was right with him.
That time they had good coverage on Davis because they double teamed him from the outside on the inside. Now watch, number 49, Brown, will chug him and stay with Davis. Davis tries to get open, but dropped one finally. Well, he's human at least. They had a penalty on there.
On the defense, it's 5 yards, first down.
It's a 5-yard penalty against Georgia. which will move the ball up to the 46 with 51 seconds left. Hodson so far, 8 out of 10, 90 yards. And that one was dropped.
Absolutely, that was right through his hands.
Guidry is 4 out of 5 for 71, so they're just shredding the Georgia pass defense.
If that's 5 yards, it should be an automatic first down because it must have been defensive holding.
It is. They have moved the sticks, and I never saw or heard the official say what the penalty was for, but that's a good call, Lee, because it is an automatic first down as they move the chains. Four-man rush. They haven't threatened Hodson all day, and he throws underneath again. Davis dropped it again. You go a long way without seeing Wendell Davis drop 2 in a row.
Georgia's changed their strategy. They now got number 49, a defensive back on Davis. Therefore, he can cover him a little bit better. Now watch, 49 is always around Davis with 42 Brantley. He strips the ball loose. He did not have control of the ball. That's why it wasn't a fumble. Now, all the Georgia fans were wishing, you know, but it really was a good call by the official.
Center Nacho Albergamo leads them out. Raji McGee is in at a wide receiver. Talk about a guy who does not get a lot of publicity and is a tremendous receiver. They throw for Martin out of the backfield to the Georgia 25. Knocked down by Beasley, but Martin made the catch, and he looks like he may have been shaken up on the play after a 29-yard gain. He took a shot. It's going to be a first down LSU, and LSU will use a timeout to stop the clock.
Boy, Hodson steps forward. Don't you like the way he threw that ball right off his front foot? What they did is they put 4 guys deep on 3, and they hit a little seam in there to Martin, number 23. Beasley hit him, but it's still first down LSU.
Garden but dread the work? The easy-to-handle Mantis Tiller will help you realize those dreams without backache and blisters. The Mantis Tiller's tines are tough enough to cut through compacted soil, allowing you to prepare for planting with minimal effort. And the tines are guaranteed for life against breakage. You'll love what the world's favorite tiller can do to transform your yard, or we'll give you your money back. Mantis Tillers give you the power to grow it yourself.
1-800-410-5998. Put the pedal to the metal Fridays on CST. Hit the red line and get up to speed with 3 Wide Life at 4 p.m. Pop the clutch and twist the throttle with 2 Extreme at 4:30. Everything you need to know about NASCAR is on Raceline at 5. And wrap it up with chrome tips and throwback whips on Steel Dreams at 5:30. The Automotive Block every Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. right here on CST.
Don't get eaten alive by credit card debt. If you have at least $5,000 to $50,000 or more in debt, stop the financial bleeding. Call Debt Group now. Debt Group's national network of attorneys works for you and negotiates your debt down to a fraction of what you owe. Eliminate your credit card bills, medical bills, and reduce them all into one affordable monthly payment. Call Debt Group now for a free debt reduction consultation. Call 800-318-3012. That's 800-318-3012.
38 seconds to go in the first half. LSU threatening again, already leading 13-3.
Mike, we haven't called 80 McGee's name yet. Watch him.
He's flanked to the same side with Wendell Davis, and now they've got Williams out on the wing on the far side. Georgia showing blitz, and they drop out of it. Hodson for the first time pressured out of the pocket. Runs out of bounds, gets down to the 23, stops the clock with 32 seconds left.
Boy, that was a neat pass pattern. They sent number 82 Davis right to the corner and brought number 80 underneath McGee. Boy, that was a perfect pattern, but except Georgia put a little bit too much pressure and didn't have time. I had a feeling that you keep going to Davis, and all of a sudden you go to somebody else while the other team jumps them and double covers them.
Well, the touchdown pass went to Tony Moss, who is in there right now, flanked to the far side. Hodson dumps it off to Martin. Martin tried to reverse direction, got down to the 17-yard line. And no more with 23 seconds left, and LSU will use its second time out of the half to stop the clock. Terry Webster, the linebacker, on the tackle. You've often heard the phrase, as you look at Mike Archer, between the hedges, and there's a reason for it. There are hedges here. They originally in 1929 served as a natural barrier around the field. There is a fence in the middle of those, so people can't get through them even if they wanted to try. And they say that Grantland Rice, the legendary sports writer, was the man who first coined the phrase between the hedges.
Did you? I heard a rumor that you actually jumped the hedge. Is that right?
No.
Let me tell you about that hedge. In 1956, a quarterback from Florida State by the name of Lee Corso played in this stadium. We got beat 3-0, and the hedge was only about maybe half that big. But the hedge has always been here, and it's always been a tremendous place to come and play football because, boy, I tell you what, this is a magnificent arena. A beautiful place, and the fans love and know football here.
When you were at Florida State, you played a great schedule, didn't you?
Absolutely. I was famous at Florida State for one thing. My roommate was Burt Reynolds. He was so good looking, I used to send him out for bait. He'd bring one back that was ugly, and I got her, but she was better than anything I could get. That's a true story.
3rd down, 3 yards to go for LSU. Four-man rush. Tardich puts the pressure on, and he forced Hudson to overthrow. Richard Tardich, the designated pass rusher, came through and did his job.
Tardich is an interesting story from France. As you said, you know, he couldn't understand why after the game, watch him in a bottom left-hand picture, he does like a nice swim move, which he gets nice and low, and he comes and gets him almost from the blind side for a fumble. Tardich, number 92, couldn't understand, like in France, after the game, they go out and have a party between the two teams and drink and sing.
Browndyke is on to try a 35-yard field goal attempt. He has already kicked 2. Make it 3. David Browndyke, perfect on the afternoon, and virtually perfect is LSU as they have built a 16-3 lead over Georgia with 12 seconds to go in the half.
Okay, from Georgia's standpoint, not bad. 16-3 against a good football team. They can still come back and win it in the 4th quarter like we saw Nebraska do at home. The problem they have is they have gone away from their game plan. Vince Dooley is concerned because they're trying to put here, there. They got to get back to the solid thing of Jackson to the outside, Tate and Hampton. I think they got to put Hampton in the game because he's the only guy I've seen that could break a long touchdown run against LSU.
With 12 seconds left, I would be shocked if it's anything but a squib kick. You don't want to kick the ball down to Hampton at the goal line and let him go 100 yards on you, do you?
No, you don't.
Vince Dooley, he has been at a major college football coach at one school longer than anyone else. This is his 24th season. He's also the athletic director, and they just dedicated a new athletic complex that is really a sight to see for anybody who loves college football.
It's called the Butts and Meir Heritage Hall. It's named after Wally Butts and Henry Meir. It's the most impressive facility I've seen on college campuses. It costs $11.5 million, and over 50% of that was raised by former athletes at Georgia. That's the love of the school.
Yeah, that's right. Line drive kick goes out of bounds, and that'll cost them 5 yards. They'll have to kick it over again. And Matt DeFrank, the punter, is doing the kicking. And can't be very happy with that effort.
Sometimes when they do this, they have a guy to kick off that's a specialist. They don't want their kickoff man to do it because they're getting bad habits. You know, in other words, if you try a fluke kick, the next time he tries a good one, he can't kick a good one. So you can look at anybody can kick off.
They'll have to kick off this time from the 30. And DeFrank will go back and huddle up with his kick coverage team to see what they want to do. That one was a low line drive that if it stayed in bounds, Hampton would have had a real shot at returning it. We have 12 seconds to go first half. It's been virtually all LSU after Georgia took a 3-0 lead. And the Bengals lead at 16-3. DeFrank, low line drive, and Osborne short hops it a la Ozzie Smith at the 10. And he'll get back just across the 20-yard line and down with 4 seconds to go in the first half. And you just have the feeling that Georgia is not about to try to throw the bomb. It'll be a toss to the tailback.
Now, I would throw a bomb. You got nothing to lose. In other words, you try a long pass, maybe you got to catch it. But don't throw a short pass in the flat where the guy can pick it off and go all the way. Let's line up 3 guys on there, throw it, boom. All of a sudden, you make a touchdown, and they say, what a coach.
They'll go with 3 wide receivers on this play, the last play of the first half. And it's a toss to the tailback, Tate. And Tate getting some good yardage out of it. That's his longest run of the ballgame, forced out of bounds shy of the 40 by Chris Carrier. But the conservative play will end the first half with LSU on top of Georgia, 16-3 in a game rated as a toss-up by the experts. We're in Athens, Georgia with a fine and a very important SEC game right now. Let's go back to our college football studio and an update on all the scores with Tim Brando.
Down one.
If you're a Georgia fan, it's just been a dog of a day so far. 16-3 LSU. That is UGA 4, the Bulldog mascot. And this is John Casey, the freshman from Athens, kicking off to LSU to start the second half. Martin, 4 yards deep. He'll down it deep, and LSU will start from its own 20. Take a look at the statistics from the first half, and it was just dominated by LSU. 195 yards passing. They just churned up that Georgia defensive secondary, and Georgia was unable to do anything except what they do best, that's rush the ball, but they only got 100 yards.
But also that one turnover down there cost them 3 points.
Yes, it did.
Now, and that was a bad call by the official. But right now, Georgia's got to get back to playing their style and win it on defense. They cannot win this game unless they can stop LSU.
Harvey Williams will start the second half at tailback, and he'll get 4. Beasley came up from the secondary to make the hit on him.
Harvey Williams.
Here's what LSU did in the first half each time they got the football. They had to give it up on a punt after a pretty decent drive the first time. Then they got a field goal that tied the score at 3-3. And this was really the only poor offensive series they had. Then they drove 8 plays for a touchdown and 5 plays for a field goal, and then 8 plays for a field goal to take that 16-3 lead. They'll split the backs this time and give it to Williams, trying to get outside, cut it back, and dives forward to the 29-yard line where Beasley covers him again. And Beasley, the junior out of Livonia, Georgia, has been a very busy man today.
And that's not a good sign. When your safety, number 20, is coming up making a lot of tackles, the linebacker should be in the same position that he is. So it's not a good sign that Beasley, number 20, is making all those tackles. Not if you're a Georgia fan, it isn't.
The field about 3/4 in shadows. There's a look at Beasley, the safety. 3rd and short. Williams dives for the 30. It's all going to depend on the official's mark. And they will place it down across the 30 for an LSU first down. Brantley on the tackle that time.
It is a first down for LSU right on the 30.
It's been a tough day so far for the Junkyard Dog defense. Brantley, whose nickname is Rambo, was the only member of that defense. Now the coaches have 7 players in it. But the pass defense especially has been torn up by Hodson and Guidry in the entire LSU passing attack. Williams, big hole in the middle, lost the ball. Georgia has it at the 33. Bill Goldberg, number 95, the sophomore from Tulsa, Oklahoma, makes the recovery.
And number 26, Ben Smith from Albany, Georgia, made the tackle. Now watch number 26 come to the left of your picture. He gets in good, perfect position to hit him. Now he hits Williams right where the ball is, right? Boom, right there. Number 22, 26 knocked the ball loose, and Georgia's got it. Remember, they've got to win this game on defense because their offense is sputtering.
That's what Georgia had to have, the big break. Lars Tate, the fullback, now 2nd in rushing ever to only Herschel Walker. Jackson dragged down by Sancho, who came in from the outside linebackers spot. And the crowd cheering a moment ago now starts to boo the Georgia offense. Tate, who gained 16 yards on the last play of the first half, has 2,583 career rushing yards. He's only 2,700 yards behind Herschel Walker. Tells you something about Herschel. 2nd and 10, Georgia. Osborne in motion. Jackson to throw. Sancho coming after him. Can't get there, but Hill makes the tackle. And the outside linebackers are making life miserable for the Georgia offense. And there's Harvey Williams, who had the big fumble a week ago, has the fumble this time.
And the fumble he had just a second ago was caused by a great play on the defense, number 26 Smith, who put his helmet right on the ball. There's almost no way possible you could protect a football when the helmet is placed on it. So that's not really Williams' fault. It's a great play by Smith.
Big play here, 3rd and 8. 5-man rush. Going for Thomas in the end zone. Touchdown, Georgia! And 82,000 Georgia fans explode here at Sanford Stadium as the Dogs are back in it. 31-yard touchdown pass from Jackson to John Thomas. His first touchdown of the season. Crumley, the point after, and he missed it. He missed it wide left. And that could turn out to be a big, big point because the margin is at 7 instead of 6.
Number 9, John Thomas, is going up the left-hand side of the picture. It's one-on-one coverage with Guidry. Watch, the ball is thrown to his outside. Good concentration of over-the-head catch. Oh, Jackson has great reaction. He's back in it. He's the same guy they were booing about 15 seconds ago. Now he's a hero.
Timeout with 11:59 to go, 3rd quarter. It's LSU 16, Georgia 9.
The IRS for $10,000 or more, you don't have to take desperate measures to settle your account. In fact, you might actually be able to pay just pennies on the dollar. All you have to do is put the right people to work for you. And that's as simple as calling this number. You'll speak to a tax expert who can help you negotiate a settlement that's significantly less than the actual amount you owe. Many are former IRS agents who have inside knowledge that you can't get elsewhere. And that can make all the difference in the world.
They saved my business.
I owed $30,000 and paid a fraction of it. The threatening letter stopped immediately.
I got great advice, and they did all the work.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, you owe it to yourself and your family to call this number and get your case settled for less. Now, you only have a small window of time to settle, so act now.
For a free tax analysis, call 800-667-9843. There is no obligation. Call 800-667-9843 now.
Left the game.
CFA football is brought to you by Heil Heating and Cooling. Depend on Heil. They're born to run. And by Casio, maker of the shock-resistant, water-resistant G-Shock. It's one tough watch to beat. Big point after, and Crumley was wide left with it. And there's the young man on the sideline. And he hopes it doesn't come back to haunt him. The first extra point miss of the season. He had been 15 out of 15. Booming kickoff will go in and out of the end zone, and LSU will have to go back to work on offense from its own 20.
Most games are won in the second half in the first 2 possessions because whichever team establishes authority usually carries it on. And this is very, very important that George is back into the ball game now with emotion. He just misses this one to the left.
Looked like a good snap and a good hold. He simply missed it. Martin is in at tailback after the Williams fumble. And Sammy Martin will get a yard and no more. Brantley was there to make the tackle along with Jim Hickey, number 90. And there's nothing that fires up a defense like causing a fumble and watching the offense turn it into a touchdown.
Now, Brantley and the rest of his players are thinking one thing. Keep these guys controlled. Remember, make them drive the football because the fans are back in it. LSU has been playing almost perfect. They're bound to make a mistake, is exactly what Georgia's thinking right now.
Hodson hasn't made one yet. He's 10 out of 14, 123 yards. Wendell Davis has caught 7 for 84. Make it 8 catches for Wendell Davis as he crosses up to the 33-yard line. Another first down, LSU.
Davis is sneaky. He looks like he's popping out of the ground. He gets so wide open. But he's driving 42 Brantley absolutely crazy. Watch. Brantley doesn't have any idea what to do. and Davis catches the football. The reason why Brantley didn't go over and cover Davis is because number 6 had him occupied. Nice offensive pass theory that
They
time.
really flooded that side. They had 4 receivers to the near side of the field. Martin got to the line of scrimmage, but no more. That was Morris Lewis, the freshman linebacker, number 57. Vince Dooley has gotten it done here at Georgia with his own philosophy, his own style, but he's done it very ethically for a long, long time. And right now, in one of the biggest games of the season, he is trying to get his club back in it. Martin on the little misdirection play gets up to the 38-yard line, and the Georgia crowd is really in it now.
Brantley in the middle is the key because he's the leader. He's from Wildwood, Florida. Watch him step up to the middle. Number 76, and Delsek moves and tries to trap him. But what's happening right now, what's happening now, Georgia is playing with more emotion I've ever seen. There's the junkyard dog.
7 guys in that club on defense for outstanding performances. Trying to bring some of the pride back. 3rd and 5. Here comes the blitz. They dump it off to Martin, and Beasley got it. Big play by Beasley. They are really pumped in Athens.
That was against the computer scout. They actually blitzed against LSU on the LSU 40, which they never do. He threw the ball quickly, and he's saying that guy wasn't supposed to be there. Beasley came up and made a nice play.
Matt DeFrank to punt. Nate Lewis waits at his own 20. Low kick, and one of the upmen will go back and signal for the fair catch. That's Mike Bowen, the sure-handed punt returner. A 37-yard kick, and we have a 1-touchdown game.
Joan suffered a stroke. It was devastating for all of us. And although it didn't take her life, it took something so much more important to her. It took her independence. I don't ever want another family to have to go through that. The thing is, with what we can do today, a stroke doesn't have to happen. 80% of strokes can be prevented when the risk is detected early and then treated by a doctor. That's why many doctors recommend lifeline screening. We use sonograms to look inside your arteries because that's where the plaque that causes most strokes builds up. You usually can't see it or feel it, and a routine physical won't usually check for it.
To schedule a lifeline screening near you, call 800-690-7493.
We screen the carotid arteries, the abdominal aorta, and the peripheral arteries. It's easy, completely painless, and every screening is reviewed by a board-certified physician.
Lifeline screening offers packages of tests for $139. Call 800-690-7493.
If a screening could prevent a stroke, why wouldn't you do it?
So maybe that's part of it.
At least the pros are playing somewhere. That's Canadian Football League, and of course we got a great one here. Number 6, LSU leading number 15, Georgia by 7. That's Richard Tardis, the defensive end pass rushing specialist from Biarritz, France. 1st and 10, Georgia. They have it at their own 23. They split the backs. Give it to Tate. And the LSU defense closed in a hurry. Right corner Kevin Guidry came up and made the tackle with Hill. Tate, 8 carries. Only has 33 yards on the afternoon, as they have done a good job of shutting him down, and we haven't seen much of Hampton.
Well, Coach Dooley must be worried about putting Hampton in such a big game that he might fumble or anything, but I tell you what, he'd be worth putting in because I think he's got a little bit more quickness to Tate, and he could make some long runs for him.
2nd and 6, Tate on student body right. And what a great tackle out there by Sancho that stops him from picking up another 5, maybe more than that. Sancho, the leading tackler on the club, has been everywhere today.
This time they try to isolate and try 87 Zadowski on 52 Sancho, and there was holding back there. They're trying to do anything they can to Sancho, hold him, kick him, double team him, but he's a fine football player. He's a first-team All-American.
Offense, 10 yards, 2nd down.
Big penalty against the Bulldogs. Remember, throwing the ball is not their strength, so if you put them in 2nd and 3rd and long, you really have them in a hole. Keep you updated on all the scores, of course. And there was the big upset of the day. Indiana knocking off Ohio State. Michigan State trying to stop Michigan. Second and long, they go with the delay to Lars Tate. Tate breaks a tackle, gets up to the 28-yard line. That was Chris Carrier who tripped him up.
That's a favorite play about this is they like to run this play off tackle. Now number 68 Stevens will pull and lead up to the hole, and he blocks down and knocks the linebacker, number 90 Marlborough, down there. But the reason that play works so good is they got a terrific block on number 54 Eric Hill and got him into the secondary, and Stevens made the next block.
3rd and 6. Stevens was the first true freshman to start on the Georgia offensive line since Vince Dooley has been here. Jackson on a roll, throws complete, had the first down and then lost it. Diving forward is John Thomas. He had the first down, but his momentum carried him back past the sticks.
Perfect call, Mike, because what happened is, that's the way you teach that route. You teach to go deep and then come back and catch the football, but his momentum was driving him so far back he couldn't turn around fast enough. Now it comes interesting. What does Vince do? 4th and 6 inches.
Oh, you know what he'll do. He'll punt the ball.
Go for it, Vince.
The kicking team is already on its way out there.
They all say, go for it. If he doesn't make it, they'll say, I told you should have punted.
That's right. 4th and inches. Georgia will punt it away with 7:23 to go. 3rd quarter. Hester is in. Jimmy Young is back there with company. Mark Jackson, starting safety. And Jackson signals fair catch, makes it at the 32. 35-yard kick, no return, 7:16 to go, 3rd quarter. It's still LSU by 7.
You'll have more time to enjoy your life when you're more effective at work. So no matter how you define success, Savin Systems give you the tools you need to succeed. Contact us to learn more about Savin's advanced document management systems and make your office more effective. Savin works here.
Call us at Gulf Coast Office Products and see how we can impact your business.
Put the pedal to the metal Fridays on CST. Hit the red line and get up to speed with 3 Wide Life at 4 p.m. Pop the clutch and twist the throttle with 2 Extreme at 4:30. Everything you need to know about NASCAR is on Raceline at 5. And wrap it up with Chrome Tips and Throwback Whips on Steel Dreams at 5:30. The Automotive Block every Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. right here on CST.
Here's important news for all Medicare beneficiaries with diabetes. These new alternate site no-code meters make testing easy with no finger pricking. You can receive one of these new meters free. And with Medicare or private insurance, your testing supplies may also be covered with free delivery.
Call 800-641-7076. That's 800-641-7076. The call is free and there is no obligation.
1-800-MEDICINE for all your health care needs.
7:16 to go in the 3rd quarter of a rapidly moving ball game. Along with Lee Corso, this is Mike Patrick. Glad you could join us on a Saturday afternoon from Athens, Georgia. 1st and 10 LSU from its own 32. Harvey Williams back at tailback. Hodson to throw. And throws incomplete. Trying for Davis. Excellent coverage that time by Mike Brown. Since Mike Brown has been in there, Georgia's pass defense has been a lot better.
What they've done, that time they brought Mike Brown up like he was going to blitz. Hodson called it automatic to throw the ball to Davis, and Brown just walked out and double covered it. No, he doesn't look to him too much. You might think he does, but remember, when you got a great player like that, he gets open. Remember the one about 10 minutes ago, he hit him with 3 guys around? He keeps trying to do that.
Hodson 12 out of 17, 8 of those catches by Wendell Davis. 4-man rush, no pressure, dumps it off to the tight end, Kinchin. Kinchin driving for the first down, and he's very close. Looks like about a half-yard shy at his own 42-yard line. Terry Webster dragged him down in front of that yard mark.
I wonder why he's so wide open. All of a sudden, you call Kinchin's name. The linebackers are sprinting out to cover the wideouts, number 82, Davis that time, and leaving a little hole underneath him. That's why the guy's wide open. Now they can't do both. They can't go watch Davis. They can't play 49 pitches.
Been a great performance by the LSU offensive line. They have really protected Hodson and Guidry. Williams, and he's got the first down out near the 44-yard line. And along that offensive line, you've got guys like Nacho Albergamo, 56, who was the center, all SEC. He was the #1 center in the USA Today poll. He has a research paper that's being published next week. The young man is absolutely one of the most intelligent college football players around. He wants a career in sports medicine as an orthopedist. They feel he is an Outland Trophy candidate, along with right guard Eric Andelsek, number 76, and that puts a great anchor in the middle of your offensive line. Hodson, plenty of time, throws near side complete to Moss. And Moss with another one of those quick moves down to the Georgia 45. That will be another LSU first down. And doesn't Moss look good?
What they found in Moss is a secondary receiver. That time they tried to go long to Davis, but Moss was in there kind of hanging around. They threw it to him, and after he caught it, he made 8 more yards. Brantley, number 42, is coming into the picture, and 34, Victor Jones, gets a piece of him from behind. The officials didn't see it. First down LSU, and they're driving.
Leading 16-9. Williams trying to get outside. Waited for Andelsek, who buried somebody, and Williams got down to the 39. That is a fine piece of running by Harvey Williams.
Oh, I tell you what, Andelsek came over there. He's 6'2", 275. He started every game for him in the last 2 years. Great prospect.
Michigan State leads only by 3. Washington, I think that's a game Bino Cook predicted, knocking off Arizona State at home. Alabama beaten. At least Alabama fans can say it's not a conference score. And UCLA having it handed to them by the Ducks. Big year for Ducks, huh? 2nd and 4, LSU from the 39. Hodson play fake. Hodson just very calm and throws for Davis, out of bounds. Yes, he was. And Mike Brown was over there to help the official. Hodson just doesn't look like you could shake him up.
It's a good throw. Remember, he's got to have 1 foot in, but he's also got to control the football. He's got this foot in, but he doesn't control the football. Good call by the official. To me, it's interesting. They've got Guidry on the sideline. Number 56, Albergamo, does a good job in the middle against number 72, Larry Brown, but they haven't brought that Guidry in, and all he did was take him down for a touchdown.
He'll be in the 4th quarter. It'll be his turn. 3rd and 4. The Georgia fans exhorting the defense, the Junkyard Dogs, to hold. Blitz. Hodson unloads incomplete, and that was broken up by Terry Webster, number 60, and they finally put some pressure on Hodson. Beasley was also there on the coverage.
Number 60 is going to cover this, but boy, the pressure. Number 54, Guthrie's coming. Number 99 is coming onto the inside, and there's a lot of pressure, and he finally gets and knocks him down. I would not be surprised to see Guthrie come in another series or 2, because I tell you, he looked real good when he was in there.
Ron Lewis will come on to try a monster field goal. It will be 56 yards. He has tried 2, 60 and 58. One hit the crossbar, the other was long enough, but it was wide. But now we have a timeout with 4:54 to go in the 3rd quarter. And we'll be back to see if they go ahead and try this long field goal in a moment.
Some tough choices, but there's one that's easy. Oasis Legal Finance is the #1 choice to provide clients the money they need for bills and living expenses long before their case may settle. Oasis has prepaid millions of dollars to people just like you, with no obligation to repay if you lose your case.
I need my settlement money now, but the defendant keeps delaying the court date.
After my accident, I wasn't able to work, but my attorney told me about Oasis, and they had a check to me in 2 days.
If you're involved in a lawsuit, call Oasis Legal Finance. Get the money you deserve.
Call Oasis.
Call Oasis.
Whether it's money for bills, rent, car payment, or groceries, call Oasis now. Remember, the phone call is free, the application is free, and there's no obligation to repay if you lose your case. Call Oasis now.
Fourth 4:54 to go in the third quarter, and LSU coach Mike Archer has changed his mind. He won't go for a 55-yard field goal. He'll send on Matt DeFrank to punt.
What happened? He was going to kick a field goal. They had one guy short. He had to call a timeout. He'd rather punt the ball and the worst, give it to him at the 20 instead of missing the field goal and give it to him at the 39. That's 19 yards of valuable property.
Back to receive is Mike Bowen. Crumley tries to hang it up. Bowen signals fair catch and makes it just outside the 10-yard line. And they do pin Georgia back deep in its own territory. The NHL on ESPN will continue Thursday, October 15th. The Los Angeles Kings will host the Boston Bruins. Our live coverage begins at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. The first game we had went to overtime with the Canadians and the Flyers, so that's the way the National Hockey League is going to go on ESPN this year. That missed extra point by Crumley, by the way, his first miss since 1985. He had 54 straight coming into that last touchdown where he missed. They'll give it off to Ellis, the fullback, and he'll take it up to about the 15-yard line. Ellis, primarily a blocker, doesn't get that much chance to run the football. And A&M struggles past Houston. Stanford leads Washington State. That's the second quarter score. Tie between Arizona and California. That's the third period. And Jerry Faust trying to knock off Oregon State. Wyoming and BYU, they're tied up. We'll keep you up to date on everything. Hawaii has come from behind. Tate diving forward to about the 17. Georgia needs to get out to the 21 for a first down.
This was the LSU strategy, to knock it down, put him in there, play good defense, get the ball back around the 50, take it in, and kick a field goal. It'd be 19-9. Then they really got him, because then they got to get a touchdown and a field goal to beat him.
Mike Archer at 34, the youngest head coach in major college football, 4-0-1. If he wins this game, the biggest one he has left is Alabama in the conference. He could go undefeated in the SEC. But they've got to get by Georgia first. Jackson trying to run it out of the pocket. He's got the first down and more. Jackson to the 38-yard line where Chris Carrier knocked him down.
Nice call on the offensive staff that time. They run a little boot action. They started everything to the left, watch, and then all of a sudden he comes back to the right. He wanted to go deep to number 83, Warner, but he was covered, so he just took it and run it. He's more dangerous running than he is throwing, but the way he can move that football, I tell you what, if they keep him on the outside and put that Hampton in number 7, they're going to be tough to stop.
3 minutes, 10 seconds to go, third quarter. First down, Georgia. They trail by a touchdown. Tate. Sancho, the first man to him, but he dragged Sancho across the 40 to about the 43-yard line. I want you to see what's going on in the Southeastern Conference. LSU, if they can beat Alabama, if they win here, got a chance to go undefeated. Georgia, of course, would have the one loss today. Tennessee, after the tie with Auburn, only has Alabama left, so coming in they had the best schedule left. Florida, Alabama, and Auburn, you see the others and the road they have to go. LSU and Tennessee would have the inside track if LSU can hang on to this lead, and Georgia wants a timeout on 2nd and 5. Jackson did not like what he saw when he looked at the LSU defense that time.
Plus, he called a formation, and what happened is the Georgia players were confused in the formation, and therefore it would cost them a big 5-yard penalty. He did a smart thing by calling a timeout.
In case you joined us late, Georgia jumped on top 3-0 with a Crumley field goal, but back came LSU to take a 16-3 lead until Georgia has scored here in the third quarter to make it 16-9, but they missed the extra point.
And that's a big point. Now what Jackson do is he's talking to Vince Dooley and his staff. He's talking to George Hafner. Vince is with his sets on. He's the offensive quarterback coach and the coordinator. He's been with Vince for 8 years. A key to Vince's staff is that Bill Lewis, the defensive coordinator, has been with him 8 years. George Hafner's been with him 8 years, and when you get that kind of consistency, you get a good football program.
Tomorrow, ESPN Speed World presents the Kart Champion Sparkplug 300 from a great race course, Laguna Seca Raceway in Monterey, California. Bobby Rahal and Mario Andretti will be there. Watch for Al Unser Sr. in the new Porsche Indy car. Our coverage starts at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. 2nd down and 5, Georgia. Option. Jackson cuts it back. Sancho got him from behind. He's very close to the first down marker, just across the 48-yard line.
I wouldn't be surprised pretty soon to see Georgia run kind of an option and then a reverse play on that Sancho. All Sancho does is see the ball go the other way, and he comes down the line of scrimmage and makes a lot of plays from the backside. What you need to do on a guy like Sancho is to run a reverse on him. If nothing else, make him stay home so he doesn't make those big plays.
Tommy Clapp, number 97, was also in on that last tackle. Clapp is a natural offensive lineman. He was recruited as such, and they switched him to defense. They really appreciate his attitude because he's been a team player and taken the switch to defense very well. You saw the measurement, just shy, 3rd and inches. Jackson now 11 carries for 79 yards. He's only passed for 55, so he's much more dangerous when he keeps the ball on the ground. Third and inches, Georgia trying to keep the drive alive. Full house backfield. Tate, first down. Carrier came up the first man to hit him along with Greg Jackson, the strong safety. And one of the LSU players is down, and it is Chris Carrier, who was in on that big collision. Tate is 208 pounds. Carrier also listed at 208, but he got the worst of that exchange.
But the difference is Carrier's 6'4" and has a long frame, and that Tate is 6'2", and he gets down nice and low. And watch him. Now, number 32 will come down, gets the good block on the offensive line by Mull, number 50. Good block by number 33, Ellis. Now, watch him drop his left shoulder, and boom, he pops him right there. Good hit by both people, but it hit Carrier in the shoulder, and that sometimes can really give you a bad problem. Watch. You see he doesn't get his body into him. He hits him with his shoulder, and that sometimes can separate his shoulder.
Carrier is up, trots off. Tony Houston, number 14, the redshirt freshman, is in to replace him. Carrier's had an up and down career. At one point, Mike Archer said the kid is kind of a screw-off, but he's got a lot of ability, and that's a quote. 1st and 10. And they'll go with Nate Lewis, a wide receiver who was in that tight formation, and Oliver Lawrence, number 99, makes the tackle on him along with Darrell Phillips. That's a play we haven't seen yet today.
There's one guy in a ball game right now that can break the game wide open. He's number 7, Hampton. He's in place of Tate. Now, the reason they got him in now is because of the fact that if he does cough the ball up, LSU gets it, it's not really dangerous. We're in going into LSU territory.
It's been a time-consuming drive. We're down to 1:14 to go in the 3rd quarter. 2nd and 10, Georgia. Hampton, here comes the reverse. Osborne. And now the flea flicker, and back to Jackson. They'll throw wide open. Touchdown! Thomas dropped it. Holy cow! Do you believe that? The reverse to Osborne, back to Jackson. Thomas was 5 yards behind the secondary. Jackson hit him in stride, and he just dropped it.
All right, there goes Hampton. Hampton to Osborne. Osborne to Jackson. Jackson to Thomas. And it's the same guy that made the sensational catch in the left-hand corner, which just drops off his hands. Too bad. That's all right.
Oh, Jackson was ready to celebrate the touchdown. Tough to come back from that, but Jackson's out to throw and overthrows Nate Lewis at the sideline. Heartbreaking for Georgia. Those are the plays that can change a game. You work so hard on the trick plays, you come in, it works like a charm, and you drop the ball.
It didn't work like a charm because he threw it a little bit too far. If he'd have had a little bit more arc on it, Thomas could have went over and jumped on it and caught it. But that's all right. Thomas, number 9, caught a great touchdown pass, and he dropped this one. He'll be back.
The short punter is on, David Dukes. Left footer sails one out of there. Jackson signals for the fair catch and makes it at the 13-yard line of LSU. So LSU dodges a real bullet. We were looking at a tie game right here.
You know, the thing that's really probably most discouraging to Georgia is you never expect a play like that to work. That works for the ATOs versus the Sigma Kappas on Sunday afternoon. Not Georgia against LSU, right? Oh, and it worked perfectly, just like the coaches drew it up.
And now the main job on the Georgia sideline is to rebuild the confidence of that young man, so the next time he comes back in the ball game, he's not thinking about dropping a touchdown pass. He's ready to play again. Sammy Martin in the ball game, and Martin, 35-40. He's got speed to the Georgia 45-yard line. And LSU hurts Georgia with a 38-yard scamper.
You know, I've seen this happen 100 times.
Yep.
What happens is psychologically the whole team lets up. He gets a good block at the line of scrimmage. Number 26, Smith misses him. Then it's off to the races. 20, Beasley misses him. But I've seen this happen 100 times. The team psychologically gets down after they miss a big play like that last one.
Fine block by Brian Kinchin. This is Fuller in a tailback, and Fuller breaks it up the middle down to the Georgia 35. Very close to another first down. Fuller, the third tailback, the sophomore out of Leesville. Really takes the wind out of your sails, doesn't it, Vince?
And you can say, well, the defense wasn't on there when that happened, but the defense was emotionally pumped. They saw the play work. It was going to be a touchdown, and all of a sudden, nothing.
That's why it's almost impossible to coach 24 years at one school. Things like that happen to you. Fuller again. He'll get 5 yards this time, down to the Georgia 29. And that young man being talked to by just about everyone after dropping the touchdown pass. And they're trying to get his head back in the game as Georgia trails by 7 into the third quarter.
Or you're at risk of falling, then what you're about to hear could change your life forever. At UScoot, we'll do everything possible to help you get a new power chair at little or no cost to you. We've helped hundreds of thousands of people regain their freedom and independence.
Before I got my chair, I was confined.
UScoot specialists are standing by. They'll work directly with you, a loved one, your doctor, and your insurance company. One of our trained technicians will personally deliver your power chair and show you how easy it is to use. And we promise if you qualify and your primary insurance denies your claim, we'll let you keep your power chair absolutely free. That's right, free. That's the UScoot promise, and no other company can make it. If you're ready to take back your freedom and independence, call UScoot now and we'll pre-qualify you while you're on the phone. The call is toll-free and there's no obligation.
I have my freedom back, and I love it.
It's a godsend, a blessing. That's what I call it.
Call UScoot today. You'll be glad you did.
Call 800-531-9270. That's 800-531-9270.
And look at the guys, what they're doing. They're a bunch.
Greetings from inside Rosenblatt Stadium. I'm Mike Neighbors with your CST College World Series Minute, brought to you by Zatarain's and Take 5 Oil Change. Well, on the eve of the championship round, both teams meeting the media for the last time. Head coaches Paul Maneri and Augie Garrido looking pretty loose. You know, most of the LSU players hail from Louisiana, but one player hails from the state of Texas. That would be catcher Micah Gibbs. He's from Pflugerville, Texas. You would think growing up he'd be a Longhorn fan. Well, that wasn't the case.
When I was real young, I went to a camp at LSU and kind of had a mutual kind of love for LSU too, and just how I saw all the fans and how much support they had and that kind of thing. And just seeing Cressy in 2000 do what he did, and now I get to do that and then play against the team that I grew up watching. Can't ask for anything else.
Micah Gibbs, always a Tiger fan. For more on the Tigers, check out our Omaha coverage on CoxSportsTV.com. That's the story for now inside Rosenblatt Stadium. Mike Neighbors for CST.
This is Ray Sherman, the receiver coach at Georgia. Vince Dooley brought him in a couple of years ago from Purdue because he's a pass specialist, and he's talking to Thomas, the young man who dropped that pass, and he's telling him, look, don't worry about it. You caught one, and that wasn't a really good play. You'll be back to win it on a reverse play in a little while, and everybody will be cheering. Thomas, Thomas, Thomas.
Second down and 5 for LSU. They lead by 7, and they're driving as we start the fourth quarter. Fuller, who has run well since he's been in the ball game, inside the 30 to about the 29. Brought down by 99 Tyrone McClendon. Michigan State leads by 6, fourth quarter against 12th ranked Michigan. Washington knocks off Arizona State. The Huskies getting back in the picture. And Oregon doing a job on USC in the third quarter. Big play here, 3rd and 4. Hodson has Mickey Harris, number 30, behind him. Martin is on a wing. Comes the blitz. They pick it up and throw complete to Davis. First down at the Georgia 17-yard line.
Oh, that was a perfect automatic. That's the best automatic of the day. Hodson, number 13, so one-on-one coverage on Davis, number 82. Watch, he breaks it to the inside, plants on number 26 Smith and gets a first down. That was an automatic, and that was a sensational call by Hodson.
Ben Smith is a junior college transfer, played 1 year at Northeast Oklahoma A&M after he couldn't get into Georgia because of academics and then transferred here. Nebraska and Oklahoma both wanted it. Martin cuts it back into the middle, running hard down to the 12-yard line. Martin turned not much into 5 yards.
But you know why he did that? That's because Georgia is a well-coached team and pursuits well, and he's cutting back behind the pursuit. That does not work against poorly coached and very slow teams. But now they seem to find an answer. Davis to the outside, or Martin to the middle, Hodson and automatic. Boy, it's a nice drive, isn't it? Nice and balanced.
They've really done a job. That's why they're number 6 in the nation. And undefeated against a good schedule. Martin again. Cuts it back again to the 5. Martin to the 1-yard line. First down and goal, LSU. And the senior from New Orleans has really made a difference when he's been in there.
And he's making them on, counter plays. In other words, they start one way, get Georgia, who wants to hit them, to go one way. Watch, they'll all go to the right. All of a sudden, he cuts it back. Cutting back is the most difficult thing to defend. And Martin's got a tremendously powerful stride and goes in there.
Martin, 11 carries, 68 yards. First and goal. Harrison Fuller now in there as the backs. Flag is down as Fuller goes into the end zone, but I think it's a delay against LSU. That'll cost him 5. Mistakes near the goal line have hurt LSU this year.
Well, set. Now Archer's concerned here because they're getting in a formation. He's real upset because they got in the wrong kind of formation. And let me tell you why. That was caused because of a substitution situation. They brought in Fuller and Harris because they're bigger and stronger. I tell you what, leave that Martin in there. He'll find a sneaky way to get in there anyhow.
So instead of first and goal from inside the 2, they're back at the 7-yard line. First and goal. 12:58 to go in the game. It's LSU by 7, bidding for more. Fuller. Brantley has him at the 5 along with Bill Goldberg, 95.
You ask why Fuller, why Harris? Because obviously they practice all week getting bigger, stronger backs in there. But that's not always the way. Speed is power, not size. And sometimes a guy like Martin can find those little holes and get it into the end zone. I always like my best runners down here, not the biggest runners.
You may have seen left guard Ruffin Rodrigue being pulled away from the block. Had a chance to talk to his dad yesterday, who played at LSU from 62 to 64. And he knew his son was, always knew he was going to end up at LSU. And very proud of him, too. Maybe a yard for Victor Jones as Bill Goldberg, the left guard on defense, made the stop again. And Georgia has been very tough near the goal line all year long.
They're tough against LSU because LSU doesn't have a good concept here. LSU got down there and all of a sudden went away from their whole game plan. They haven't run those plays at all today. What makes them think they're going to work down there? Give the ball to Davis, give the ball to Martin, and they'll find a way to get in and score.
3rd and goal from the 4. McGee in motion. McGee couldn't hold it. The pass thrown behind him, and McGee with the diving try just couldn't keep his hands on it.
All right, Hodson's rolling out to his left. He throws the ball sidearm. McGee tries to get the ball, almost does it, but when he hit the ground, the ball came loose. At least they tried a play that had a chance of making it. Those other plays didn't get him anything. Yeah,
and Mike Archer thought he had it.
That's wishful thinking.
Browndyke will try a 21-yard field goal. And he's got it. Browndyke, who has been a major factor in this game, puts LSU up 19-9 with 11:17 left.
pain patches have been recalled because of a defect that can cause a fatal overdose.
This is serious. If someone you know has died while wearing a skin patch for pain, the manufacturer may be to blame. Call the Goldwater Law Firm right now.
I'm attorney Bob Goldwater. If you or a loved one used this patch and were injured, call me right now. You may be entitled to a large cash award.
The FDA has issued a warning because the pain patch has been linked to fatalities. If you know someone who has died while wearing the pain patch, call the Goldwater Law Firm right now.
There are strict time deadlines to file a claim, so call right now. There's no risk on your part. If we're not successful, you owe us absolutely nothing.
There are strict time deadlines. Don't wait. If someone you know has died while wearing a Duragesic skin patch for pain, call 800-651-9300.
Rendered largely
CFA football is being brought to you by Volvo, a car you can believe in. 11 minutes, 17 seconds to go, fourth quarter. David Browndyke has tied his own school record with 4 field goals in this game and has Georgia down by 10. The Bulldogs do not have that kind of offense that can bring you from behind. Matt DeFrank will kick off as they want to try something different, and instead he just goes ahead and booms it away. Hampton, 3 yards, 4 yards deep, almost brought it out. Osborne convinced him to stay in the end zone, and Georgia will start from its own 20.
Okay, this is going to happen in the last part of the game right now. LSU's going to get the ball 3 more times. Georgia's got to keep them to 1 field goal and give them 22. Georgia's going to get the ball 3 more times. They've got to score 2 touchdowns and beat them 23-22. That's the way they're going to have to win the game on defense, and they got to score 2 out of 3 times.
Hampton is in at tailback. The freshman speed runner rushed for 227 yards a week ago in his first start as a collegiate. Jackson scrambling, looking for room, gets out to the 23-yard line.
James Jackson.
Jackson had 165 yards rushing coming into this ball game, and he has been far more dangerous today on the ground than he has been throwing it. 12 rushes, 82 yards. He's only completed 55 yards worth of passes on 4 out of 10. And Georgia uses real time-consuming drives, and there isn't that much clock left with 10:45 to go. Jackson on the option. LSU defensed it very, very well. Mulbro just exactly where he was supposed to be and makes the tackle. They had the pitch man covered, and Jackson had no choice but to eat.
And Mulbro, number 90, came from the inside, which means he goes inside out, so when Jackson cut back, boom, he was right there. If he'd have over pursued, he could have cut back and made a great play.
3rd down, 5 yards to go for Georgia. They'll split the backs this time. Ellis 33 and Hampton 7. Jackson throws near side complete to Osborne, shakes a tackle. Osborne midfield. 30. He might go all the way. Touchdown, Georgia. Osborne with his first touchdown catch of the season. And it's 19-15. Georgia can get within 3. Crumley, who missed the last time, has this one. And Crumley is flattened and a flag goes down. They'll assess that one on the kickoff.
I tell you what, Coach Archer is going to not sleep tonight on this defensive call. He brings number 40, Bryce, into the ballgame, who hasn't been playing. He brings Bryce on a strong safety blitz. They pick it up one-on-one on Osborne, and the guy goes all the way to touchdown. A horrible defensive call in that situation against an average offensive football team. You don't need to put the pressure on Jackson. He puts it on him by himself.
That gets Georgia back within 3. I think some people will ask, would you have gone for 2 points there to get within 2?
Now watch, Osborne will go, yeah, I'd go for 1. Now see, now there was a blitz. Number 40 was in there. That's what happened. They blitzed number 40 and left the guy one-on-one out there, and Marlboro can never catch Osborne, and he's going for a touchdown. Now I second-guess that call only because they're playing Georgia. Another team put the pressure on the quarterback.
There's a timeout with 9:45 to go from Athens. We've got a 3-point game.
Drinks. Let's find out. While waiting, you should know. 5-Hour Energy contains 0 sugar and only 4 calories. Its blend of B vitamins and amino acids can help you feel awake, alert, and productive for hours without the crash or jitters. The answer is 12. Over 12 teaspoons of sugar and 200 calories in these energy drinks. 0 sugar and 4 calories in 5-Hour Energy. There's a reason people choose 5-Hour Energy 2.5 million times a week. 5-Hour Energy. Hours of energy now, no crash later.
Put the pedal to the metal Fridays on CST. Hit the red line and get up to speed with 3 Wide Life at 4 p.m. Pop the clutch and twist the throttle with 2 Extreme at 4:30. Everything you need to know about NASCAR is on Raceline at 5. And wrap it up with chrome tips and throwback whips on Steel Dreams at 5:30. The Automotive Block every Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. right here on CST.
7 out of 10 Americans have credit card debt. Like this single mom who couldn't make ends meet and fell behind on her payments. Or this couple who considered bankruptcy because of their debt.
Call American Debt Specialist now, and you can reduce or eliminate your debt fast for good. You'll have one low monthly payment that fits your budget. It's simple, legal, and proven.
It was amazing.
I'm glad I made the call.
Call 800-286-7991 now.
So
9:45 to go, and Sanford Stadium, 82,000 strong, is rocking as Georgia has gotten back in the ballgame on a 74-yard touchdown pass. And 9 yards deep, Williams takes it. LSU will have to start from its own 20 right now. Let's check in with Tim Brando.
All right, Mike Patrick, and this game just over. You see over my shoulder, Michigan State and Michigan. This game was won actually in the second quarter. Lorenzo White, who had 148 yards rushing at halftime, bowls over. That made it 14-3, and Bo Schembechler's club goes down by a final score of 17-11. How long has it been since Ohio State and Michigan lost on the same weekend in the Big Ten, Mike and Lee? It's been a long while.
And if you were watching that game, we welcome you to Athens, Georgia, where LSU is up by only 3 in the fourth quarter. Hodson throws to Kinchin, complete, and Kinchin is belted out of bounds by Ben Smith. Hodson now 16 out of 24.
And we talked about a little while ago, we said that if they were going to get the ball again 3 times, and Georgia had to win the game on defense by keeping them to only 3 points. Remember, this is their first time Georgia scored on their first time.
That was a gain of 5. Harvey Williams is back in at tailback for LSU. He has only gained 33 yards so far today. They'll give it to the fullback. That's Victor Jones. And Jones out across the 30. He's got the first down. Seldom used, at least in this game. Victor Jones comes up with a big run there. Nice call. Everybody, including you and I, thought Williams is going to run the ball. They come back with a nice little jaw to Victor Jones, who's the state 185-pound wrestling champion from Zachary, Louisiana. He was 34-0 as a wrestler. Always liked wrestlers. They were tougher than the regular guys. Martin is back in at tailback, and Martin has done the job today. 80 yards on the ground. He's caught passes for 45 more. Play fake to Martin. Great protection. Back to Martin on a little screen. If he was supposed to have blockers out there, they disappeared in a hurry, and Martin just pounds it out to the 37. But what a wonderful call. Why? Everybody's going crazy. Everybody's going crazy. Great call by Archer. Invite him in, go crazy, and throw a nice little screen. Watch. Come on in, get me. Throw a little screen out to Martin. Even though he doesn't need anybody out there in front of him, 99 McClendon can't cover him, and it's good play for LSU. Beautifully set up by the play fake. 2nd and 5. Martin on the toss, trying to get outside, cut it back. about to the 38-yard line. That'll bring up a 3rd and 3. And it's getting a little tight here in Athens.
Okay, 3rd and 3. What do? You take Hodson and you get the ball somehow to Davis. Georgia says, what are they going to do? They're going to get Hodson to Davis. So now it's who can execute right now.
3rd and 3 with 7 minutes, 31 seconds left. LSU is up by 3. Hodson changing the play. 4-man rush, they don't even get close. It's intercepted. Picked off by Vince Guthrie, and Guthrie gets it back to the 17-yard line. The number 2 tackler on this ball club comes up with a huge play.
They finally got Hodson to make a mistake. Watch. He throws. The ball is slightly deflected. 54. Guthrie intercepts it. McGee makes a good play from the bottom. Remember, we talked about it a couple of minutes ago. They had to win this game on defense, not on offense. Now, he knows the ball is deflected. Get over there as quick as you can. But, boy, I'll tell you what, Georgia's moving in now.
Georgia down by 3, already in field goal range. Tate back in the tailback. Trying to take it outside. They run him out of bounds at the 15 after a gain of 2. Now they'll mark it at the 14. Kevin Guidry made the tackle. There's Guthrie on the sideline after that interception.
Okay, Vince's strategy right now is not to do anything stupid. He'd rather tie the score 19-19 now than not get any points. So I think you'll see his play selection will be that way. Now, Hodson's play selection, he's talking to the quarterback coach upstairs, Zombrecker, is to keep doing what you do. Don't worry about that play.
Hampton comes in at tailback on 2nd and 7. They'll give it to him on a little misdirection, and Hampton! Touchdown, Georgia! About them dogs.
The difference between Hampton and Tate would have had a 5-yard gain. Hampton got a touchdown. That extra speed and quickness.
Big point after here. Crumley to make it a 4-point game, and does. And it's 23-19 Georgia.
Watch, a little misdirection. Fake one way, pull the guard and tackle. And now Hampton, right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the difference between him and Tate. He's got such great speed, he made it into the end zone where Tate would have been knocked down. I tell you what, the guy has got something that you can't coach, Mike. It's called greatness. He's got greatness written all over him. Big play, big game. He's got to have it. Look at him. Drive it in for a touchdown. What a play.
A 14-yard touchdown run by Hampton has given Georgia the lead.
Energy drinks. Let's find out. While waiting, you should know. 5-Hour Energy contains 0 sugar and only 4 calories. Its blend of B vitamins and amino acids can help you feel awake, alert, and productive for hours without the crash or jitters. The answer is 12. Over 12 teaspoons of sugar and 200 calories in these energy drinks. 0 sugar and 4 calories in 5-Hour Energy. There's a reason people choose 5-Hour Energy 2.5 million times a week. 5-Hour Energy. Hours of energy now, no crash later.
Take 5, home of the 5-minute oil change, will give you free emergency roadside assistance for 90 days or 3,000 miles when you purchase a synthetic motor oil change, the ultimate engine oil protection. This includes various emergency roadside services. And here's more savings. Go to the 5minuteoilchange.com website and get a coupon for $8 off your next oil change. That website address again, 5minuteoilchange.com. Take 5, home of the 5-minute oil change, cares about you.
82,000 who paid their way in here have gotten their money's worth. Martin and Fuller deep to receive. Fuller at the 1. He's got a seam. Fuller still on his feet out to the 40-yard line. Big return for the sophomore out of Leesville.
Fuller's certainly strong enough, big enough. They almost bust this one because they got a good seam in there. Sometimes after scoring a big touchdown, the kickoff team has a tendency to let up. But I like the way he's protecting the football and driving forward. Look at that, he runs right over number 35 and is driving himself forward. LSU's got plenty of time. They've got to play within themselves and come back and win this ball game.
Hodson, 17 out of 26, 176 yards and an interception. He'll need to get it done now. And Hodson to throw. Has had great protection all day. Has to run it this time. And he'll pick up about 3 and really takes a shot way out of bounds, and a flag goes down as Ben Smith, number 26, hit him 3 or 4 yards out of bounds, and he just cost Georgia 15 yards with a stupid play. Absolutely no excuse to go after a man who's that far out of bounds.
Watch him come up right there and hit him. I tell you one thing that he learned. Archer right after him, boy, I'll tell you what, because you don't hit anybody. Another thing that's not a good play, Smith, you never hit a quarterback on the other team's sideline. You know what I mean? You have got no friends over there.
And Vince Dooley trying to work one of the officials a little bit, but he's not going to argue very hard about that one.
Georgia's got their 23. They got to keep these guys to 3 to make it 22 and win the ball game in the last minute.
The penalty moves it down to the Georgia 42, 6:39 to go. Mickey Guidry is in at quarterback after Hodson really took the blast at the sideline. Guidry came in the second quarter and led him to a touchdown. Option to Williams. Williams still on his feet, driving forward to the 35. They'll say he stepped out of bounds at the 37-yard line.
Guidry, as he showed me in the first half, that he's got experience. He's a senior, 6'2", 198. He can take the team in there. There's not that much of a drop-off. He ran a nice option play. LSU's got to be careful not to do something stupid here. Play within themselves. They got plenty of time with 6:33 to go.
Fuller comes in at tailback. We haven't seen Martin in a while. As Williams goes out, they'll give it to Fuller. Brantley got him at the line of scrimmage. He dove forward to the 35-yard line. Hodson on the sideline, and he wants to put that helmet on and go back in the game, and that's what he'll do on 3rd and 3.
Ed Zombrecker is the offensive quarterback coach and the offensive coordinator. He's upstairs calling the plays, and this is one of the biggest plays of his career. 3rd down and 3, the ball on the 35 with 6:03 to go.
Martin back in the ball game at tailback. There's only 6 seconds left on the play clock. They got to hurry up, and Hodson's going to have to use a timeout to avoid the penalty. We have a timeout between the Hedges and Athens. 5:53 to go. It's Georgia by 4.
Energy drinks. Let's find out. While waiting, you should know. 5-Hour Energy contains 0 sugar and only 4 calories. Its blend of B vitamins and amino acids can help you feel awake, alert, and productive for hours without the crash or jitters. The answer is 12. Over 12 teaspoons of sugar and 200 calories in these energy drinks. 0 sugar and 4 calories in 5-Hour Energy. There's a reason people choose 5-Hour Energy 2.5 million times a week. 5-Hour Energy. Hours of energy now, no crash later.
3 months of burning the midnight oil. 2 weeks of second-guessing yourself. 1 minute of soul-searching. It all comes down to this. A Savin document management system connects you to success.
To find out how, call Gulf Coast Office Products at 756-2644.
5 minutes, 53 seconds to go in the game. Georgia by 4. Mike Patrick and Lee Corso with you from Athens, Georgia. Been a great comeback by the Dogs. But LSU bidding to go back ahead. 3rd and 3. Hodson to throw. Great protection again. Throws complete to Williams. Excuse me, Martin at the 30-yard line. And Sam Martin has been there for every big play that LSU has needed today.
Except when they got down to the goal line, they took one of the best players out of the game. Now watch, as Hodson goes back, he's looking deep. See his eyes looking deep? He's looking deep for Davis, but he throws a nice little soft pass to Martin in there. I think Martin is a quick enough guy like Hampton is on Georgia to win this game for LSU.
First down, LSU at the Georgia 29. They're in their passing formation. Hodson to Davis inside the 20 to the 18 or 19-yard line. Should be good enough for another first down. 5:13 left.
Another great call, because now you got Davis on number 49, Brown. Now watch, he comes down and cuts it to the inside. Now you say, why is he wide open? You see 42 and 60, that's Webster and Brantley. They took number 23, Martin, across the middle. That was a beautifully executed offensive play by the LSU Tigers.
It's another first down. LSU, the number 6 team in the nation, trying to avoid the upset here at Georgia. Wouldn't be much of an upset with Georgia ranked 15th. Comes the blitz. Hodson unloads for Davis. Incomplete. Couldn't hold it. Beasley was back there along with Mark Vincent. Would have been an incredible catch.
This is, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the best automatics you'll ever see under pressure. Watch. This is an automatic play that he threw to a spot where Martin wasn't even anywhere. Davis wasn't even near that. He did that because LSU came on the blitz. Watch, there's double coverage on him, but he throws it right into the seam. Anytime Georgia has a tendency to blitz, it's right down here on the 20-yard line.
4:52 left, 2nd and 10. A field goal doesn't do them any good. It just gets them within 1, although it might come to that. Another blitz, time to throw, complete to Davis to the 7. That'll be another first down. And Georgia, with the defensive scheme they play, simply has no chance to stop the passing.
At the top of the show, we said that they were going to blitz them, but they cannot play one-on-one. Miles Smith's a nice young man, number 2, but he cannot cover Wendell Davis if he stayed out there until he was 35 years old. They're too good on the one-on-one passing game. Georgia's got one choice, though. They can really come after him now and try to force a mistake, an interception or a fumble.
First and goal at the 8. Davis, 11 catches, 127 yards. Martin goes out. Fuller comes back in. They'll run Fuller on the sweep, and he'll get to the 6, maybe the 5. Once again, they have gone to the bigger backs inside the 10.
Fine. I'm not going to bring it up again. I just say that the past history shows they haven't been scoring much, and I think that's one of the reasons. They take out their quickness and some of the best players in for bulk, and I don't think you can do that.
Clock turning, 3:56 and counting from Athens. It's 23-19 Georgia over LSU. 2nd and goal for LSU from the 6. Play action. Hodson, nowhere to throw. Now unload. Kitchen, touchdown LSU. And they went back to what they do best, throwing the football.
And to who? 49, Kitchen, their starter. They faked everything to the right and came back. Now, they got to go for 2 because 1 will give another tie. But now, he's going for 1. He'll go for another tie.
Well, he'll be up. If he doesn't go for the 1, a field goal would beat him. So they'll have Browndyke, who's kicked 4 field goals, on to try an important point after. And Browndyke has it.
Okay, what they did on this one, they rolled out. In other words, they faked that ball. Watch him. He goes to his right. And number 49, Kitchen, is just kind of messing around over here to the left. And all of a sudden, he slips out. Anytime you give a quarterback that much time and it's man-for-man coverage, somebody is bound to get open. And Ryan Kitchen made a great play. He's from Baton Rouge. The thing I liked about him the best, he lettered in tennis. He must be some kind of an athlete to be 6'3", 230 and be a tennis player. And there is Archer. All right, 26-23. The Dogs have got it with 3:36. They can win the game now with a great play to Hampton or 24, Osborne.
Osborne has already scored a touchdown, so has Hampton. They are deep to receive, and Vince Dooley trying to pull out another one here in Athens, Georgia, as he has so many times. But LSU has a great road record, much like Miami of Florida.
10 in a row right now.
And this is not 10 visits to the Little Sisters of the Poor either. DeFrank is on to kick again. Floats this one up, and Hampton at the 3. He can fly, but this time he'll only get back to the 24-yard line. And 3:29 to go in the ball game. Georgia down by 3.
Okay, if I was Georgia, this is what I would do. I would make sure that Osborne, number 24, and Hampton, number 7, and Jackson, number 14, get the ball all the time, because those are the 3 guys that have got the quickness that can win this game for Vince Dooley.
Well, Hampton is out, and Tate is back in at tailback.
I wouldn't do that.
Jackson on a roll. And throws incomplete. John Thomas dropped the ball.
I throw the ball to 24 Osborne. I throw the ball to 24 Osborne. Thomas right now is shook up because he dropped that pass. And I don't care what Coach Sherman tells him. The guy is still shook up. You got to go to number 24 Osborne because he's got the speed, boom, to make a tackle and break a tackle and go.
You joined us late on a flea flicker play. Thomas was wide open and dropped a touchdown pass at the goal line. 2nd and 10 Georgia. They'll split the backs. Jackson to throw. Sancho's coming on a blitz, but he can't get there. Good protection. They go to the tight end, Sadowski, out to the 35. And Troy Sadowski very, very close to a first down, and where they marked it, it looks like they have it. Good throw that time by Jackson. He had to thread it in there.
And that time LSU all drifted to the outside because we haven't called Sadowski's name, but one time they all said, well, he's not going to throw it 87. That was a nice play by Jackson hitting Sadowski, number 87.
3:04 and counting in the game. Jackson on the delay to his fullback, Alfonso Ellis. Takes it out to the 39. It'll be 2nd and 4. Georgia with 2 timeouts left. LSU has 1. And boy, when you're on the short end of the score, that clock goes in a hurry, doesn't
Absolutely. We talked to Vince Dooley yesterday that if he would go for a tie or not, he's going to have a decision pretty soon if he gets up there 26-23. You kick the field goal or you go for the touchdown.
Jackson with a long signal count. That takes time off the clock. He'll dump it off to Tate on the little screen. Tate to midfield. It'll be a first down for Georgia.
Well, it's a nice play by Tate, but he's going to come out of here. If they'd have thrown that same screen to 7, he'd still be going. Because watch, he gets good blocking out here by number 69, Burrows, and then he takes off. And he breaks 1 tackle, and he got at least the first down.
2 minutes, 17 seconds to go in the game. They restart the clock. Georgia down by 3. Hampton is back in there at tailback. Jackson floats one near side. He's got Lewis open. And Lewis, with the pass behind him, couldn't turn around in time to make the catch.
Well, that was a good call because what they did is they took 24 and set him as bait. Everybody jumped on Osborne and left Lewis wide open going on the sideline. He didn't set his feet. He tried to lay it up there, and it just goes out of bounds. It took him out of bounds because it was thrown over to... He didn't set his feet. Come on, Vince, you got it. And you say that Vince Dooley's not emotional. Look at that. 24 years of this.
2nd and 10 for Georgia from midfield. Osborne at the 31. That'll be a first down. And Cassius Osborne, who had caught only 9 passes in 5 games, has made 2 big plays in this one.
Okay, Osborne is a game breaker. He can come across the middle. Now watch him. He's from Statesboro, Georgia, and they're all proud of him right here. He catches this ball out of the deflection, which means he really concentrates on it very, very well, and Guidry makes the tackle. Now, one of the things that happens in a situation like this, and especially here on the 20 or 30-yard line, is they keep running the guy across the middle, and then, Mike, they run what they call a post flag, and they hit him in the left-hand or right-hand corner for a touchdown and win the game.
LSU has an injured player. It's Clint James, number 70. He is being assisted off the field right now by 2 of the staff. There's Crumley on the sideline. He may have to kick a game-tying field goal. And James goes out, and Carl Dunbar, number 63, checks in. There's James. Dunbar comes in on the defensive line for LSU. This is the biggest defensive stand of the year. Jackson, 8 out of 16, 169 yards, a minute 40 left in the game. To Tate. And Tate knocked down by Hill as it gets to the 28.
All right, why do I question that call? Because not they're going to make 4 or 5 yards, but look at the clock, 126, 120. Now he's going to have to call a timeout or something. Boy, you just don't ever do that.
Send Osborne back in the ball game. Clock is running on 2nd and 7. We're down to a minute 15. Thomas, who dropped the touchdown pass, comes to the near side as a flanker. Osborne in the slot. Jackson, a little jump pass. Incomplete and then intercepted by Kevin Guidry. Tipped and picked off by Guidry.
Off the hands of Hampton.
Hampton couldn't catch the ball.
The ball was a little high, but I've been talking about Hampton, but he just missed this play. But right there, it deflects into the air, and 27 Guidry comes up and makes the play. And remember, Guidry is the guy that got beat in the left-hand corner for a touchdown. And I'll tell you what, sometimes, Mike, let me tell you something. After being a coach for 30 years, sometimes you win them just like this when you don't know why.
Guidry with his 2nd interception of the year, and all LSU has to do right now is run out the clock. Georgia only with 1 timeout. Jones keeps the ball, and the Bulldogs on the sideline absolutely devastated after a great 4th quarter comeback. Georgia with 2 timeouts can only stop it twice. 51 seconds left.
The pedal to the metal, Fridays on CST. Hit the red line and get up to speed with 3 Wide Life at 4 p.m. Pop the clutch and twist the throttle with 2 Extreme at 4:30. Everything you need to know about NASCAR is on Raceline at 5. And wrap it up with chrome tips and throwback whips on Steel Dreams at 5:30. The Automotive Block every Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. right here on CST.
51 seconds to go, and it's LSU's game, 26-23. They have the football. Georgia with only 1 timeout left, and it looks like LSU is going to be able to run out the clock.
Yes, and LSU's played some good games and had some good teams. Paul Dietzel was a coach at LSU, and they won the national championship in 1958. They had 11-0 season. Charlie McClendon was the head coach at LSU for 18 years. He went to 13 bowls, won over 69% of his games, and he's now the executive director of the American Football Coaches Association and lives in sunny Orlando, Florida.
Georgia uses its final timeout to stop it with 42 seconds left. We want to thank our spotters today, Danny Daniels and Arthur Trish. Our statistician is always John Madry, who had some help up in the booth today from Steve Taylor and Lance Owen. We want to thank all of them for their help today. And Vince Dooley in his 24th year, on the verge of losing a heartbreaker unless he can conjure up a miracle.
Vince Dooley is also the athletic director, and he's developed one of the best all-around men's and women's programs in the United States. The Georgia men and women's program last year combined, and they've been the most successful in the SEC 5 out of the last 7 years, the total sports program.
That's John Casey, the freshman kicker on the sideline. His dad is the strength coach. Played on Vince Dooley's first team here at Georgia.
What they're talking about right now, see, there's enough time for Georgia to block a punt and win this game because they cannot use the whole clock out. So they got to be careful. They don't make the first down. It's all over now.
They've got the first down, and that's it. But that was a big point lead.
Yeah.
Victor Jones has the first down. If they hadn't have made it, that LSU would have had to do something on 4th down because the clock would not have run out.
Right. What I would have done is taken the ball and got the kicker and ran out of bounds in the end zone and gave him a safety.
Give
and
up
won
the
26-25. But they made the first down, and Archer's undefeated as a head coach. He reminds me a lot of Howard Schnellenberger, who he worked for 8 years at Miami. He's a good young football coach.
Hodson will go to his knee, and that's going to be the last play. They do not have to snap it again.
They're talking about Archer being young at 33, the head coach. They forget the guy on this sideline, Vince Dooley, was 33 years old when he became the head coach at the University of Georgia. And look what he's done. 24 years at this great school.
And Mike Archer is 5-0-1. He has played some of the best in his first year as a head coach, and they have yet to beat him. He's got a great squad of kids, and will go out and shake hands with Vince Dooley in the center of the field. It's got to be a thrill for Archer to come here to Athens, Georgia, and beat a team as good as Georgia, a team that was it was a toss-up game as far as the experts were concerned.
Georgia's only lost 8 SEC games in the last 10 years. They're 45-8-2 now. They're 45-9-2, which is not a bad record.
LSU protects its sixth rank, and our Volvo player of the game from the University of Georgia, Cassius Osborne. 2 catches, 93 yards, one of which was a 74-yard touchdown catch that got his club back in it. And Sam Martin for LSU, who pulled off the big plays, 82 yards rushing in 13 carries, 6 catches for 56 yards. Volvo will contribute $1,000 to the general scholarship fund of each school. Our final score, 26-23 LSU. For Lee Corso, this is Mike Patrick saying so long.